This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. Prime Minister Davis orders Bahamians to leave Haiti as he defends the government's approach to fighting illegal migration. Davis says he's also asked the Attorney General to address the shantytown injunction. And the police investigate the country's latest homicide. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Friday, January 27th, 2023. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Stephen Hanna will be joining us. Also this morning, we'll talk about the press secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister announcing that he is indeed a consultant for ZNS. What's that all about? And also coming up this morning, our Health Week concludes with a look at holistic health and what it takes to become a holistic health coach. We're talking about that, and later in Morning Blend Business, we kick off a new monthly series. We're calling it Morning Brand, and we are focusing on the image, messaging, communications of companies, local companies, and whether you're on the right track. Today, we're talking about the importance of having an authentic image. We'll explain all of that coming up in our monthly brand series. Morning Brand monthly on Morning Blend Business. That's coming up. But first, it's time for the overnight. The latest breaking news from while you were sleeping and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, Prime Minister Philip Davis has ordered an immediate involuntary departure from Haiti of all diplomatic personnel as soon as security conditions permit. According to a statement from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the security situation in Haiti has become less stable over the past 3 days. Therefore, steps are being taken out of an abundance of caution. The pattern of security concerns, he says, is one of ebb and flow, and these withdrawals are sometimes necessary to regroup. He says security forces Security forces in the country have been alerted to the developments, and as soon as conditions permit, a team will be sent back into Haiti without further announcement. Up to this time, the statement says there was a voluntary departure order in place and that all staff at the embassy chose to stay, but per the new instructions, they are now to leave for home as soon as conditions permit. responding to criticism in some quarters that the government is not doing enough to address illegal immigration. Prime Minister Davis defended his administration's approach, arguing that it is doing everything that it can. He said, quote, "Maybe they can tell us what else we can do. We know that we are doing all that we can. Last year, we repatriated over 3,500 Haitians back to Haiti. There were over 40 incidents on our defense force, sending boats and intercepting vessels and returning them over the last year. For this year, the RBPF has already interdicted many of them and sent them back home. They're going to continue to come as long as conditions in Haiti persist. We're going to have people trying to get out of Haiti." The Prime Minister says he's also asked the Attorney General to get clarity and seek a modification from the courts over an injunction that bars the demolition of shantytowns. That injunction was granted in 2018 after some shantytown residents filed a judicial review of the Minutes administration's plan to demolish shantytowns in the country. Supreme Court Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson has yet to rule on the judicial review, and the injunction was amended to include all of Abaco and New Providence. Several new shantytowns have reportedly cropped up on Abaco in recent years. When asked for an update on the matter, the Prime Minister said he spoke to the Attorney General and is now seeking to go back to the court to have a clarification on what the effect of that injunction is and to modify it to ensure that they're able to do what has to be done to stop the growing numbers of shantytowns in the country. Press Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, Clint Watson, confirming that he is working with state broadcaster ZNS as it goes through an improvement and upgrade, his words, in its news department. Watson also confirmed that he will be staying on as the Office of the Prime Minister Press Secretary, prompting concerns that the two roles amount to a conflict of interest. Watson saying during the OPM press conference yesterday, quote, "I am the Press Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister. That has not changed. That is what I do." Watson says he won't be reimbursed for the role, though. Watson, as his consultancy with ZNS, Watson worked as a broadcaster, reporter, and editor with the Broadcasting Corporation before serving as news director at Eyewitness News. At Eyewitness News, he assumed the role of Office of the Prime Minister Press Secretary shortly after the PLP was elected to government in September 2021. A man shot near his Johnson Road home has died. The victim was approached by a man known to him, according to police. That person shot him multiple times. Police say the killer fled the scene. The victim was taken to the hospital, where he died later. And police have charged two men who they say are responsible for the murder of Marine Seaman Alvarez McCoy. Prosecutors say 26-year-old Brian Tino Fox and 20-year-old Jerron Stewart of Yamacraw Hill Road fatally shot McCoy on January 18th. After he pulled up to his home on Armbruster Street in Fox Hill. Fox and Stewart were not required to enter pleas to the charges when they made their initial court appearance before Chief Magistrate Joanne Ferguson Pratt. They've been denied bail and will appear next before the magistrate on May 10th to receive a voluntary bill of indictment that will send their case to the Supreme Court. Overseas, Israel's defense minister signaling today that the military would stop its airstrikes if Palestinian militant groups halted rocket attacks. This is a day after the deadliest Israeli raid in decades, raising the prospect of a major flare-up in fighting. The limited exchange of fire between Gaza militants and Israeli armed forces has so far followed a familiar pattern that allows both sides to respond without leading to a major escalation. The defense minister's instruction to the military prepare for new strikes in the Gaza Strip, if necessary, also appeared to leave open the possibility that the violence would subside. Midday prayers at Jerusalem's Al-Aqsa Mosque compound, often a catalyst for clashes between Palestinians and Israeli police, passed in relative calm today, despite a heavy police presence. Residents of the Holy City, though, and the occupied West Bank remain on edge. In sports, Bahamians A.J. Storr and Frederick King Jr. facing off against each other in the NCAA Division I Big East action at the CHI Health Center in Omaha, Nebraska. In the end, King and the Creighton University Blue Jays easily taking care of Storr in the St. John's University Red Storm 104-76. King coming off the bench and playing 13 minutes. He went 3 for 3 from the field, finishing with 7 points. The freshman also had 4 rebounds. In the Blue Jays' 12th win of the season, they improved to a 12-8 win-loss record and a 6-3 record in the Big East competition. And National Master Valentine Cox dominating the 2023 Bahamas Chess Federation National Chess Championship, winning the prestigious event with an impressive 8 out of 9 points. The only player to beat Cox was Cecil Monker in round 9. Cox won his first National Chess Championship 47 years ago. Back in 1975, he went on to win the title again in 2002 and 2015, according to Chess Federation records. And the University of the Bahamas Mingos men's soccer side knocked out of the Bahamas Football Association's Hummel Cup competition after losing to the Dynamos 5-4 in penalty kicks after the match ended in a 5-5 tie. The match was an important one for the Mingos as the Dynamos handed the team its last loss of 2022, and they were looking for a little payback. You can read more about all these stories in today's Guardian Sports section. From tennis, the Australian Open, Novak Djokovic casting aside distractions, including his father posing with Russians and a photo of Russian President Vladimir Putin outside the stadium. Djokovic able to overcome that and has not lost in the semifinals or finals of Melbourne Park and doesn't appear to want to do so. He beating American Tommy Paul today 7-5, 6-1, 6-2 to close in on a 10th Australian Open Championship and a 22nd Grand Slam title overall. He will face Alexander Tsitsipas in the Australian Open final. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, we've got a cold front across the central Bahamas now, and that's going to support fresh breezes across the islands by this evening. Beachgoers should exercise caution, though. There's a risk of rip currents within East Coast beaches, and mariners should be alert for waterspout activity. Small craft operators should not venture far from port due to increasing winds and building seas over the weekend. For all areas today, look for variably cloudy and breezy conditions with widely scattered showers, becoming partly cloudy, breezy, and cool with isolated showers tonight. Small craft cautions in effect. Winds north to northeast at 10 to 15 knots in the northwest Bahamas. Northeast to east at 10 to 15 knots in the central islands. And central and southeast Bahamas. Winds increasing to 15 to 20 knots this afternoon over all areas. Seas 2 to 4 feet, but building to 4 to 6 feet. Temperature-wise right now in Nassau, we are at about 70 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Look for highs getting up to around 84 Fahrenheit, 29 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 64 Fahrenheit, 18 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have an extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit. It's time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Whether your business is in-store, on the go, or both, let Fidelity work with you to maximize your customers' payment options with a fixed or mobile terminal so that you never miss a sale. It's safer than cash and more convenient so that you can take your business anywhere. For details, contact a business development officer today at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport, or visit our website at fidelitygroup.com.
At Wendy's, we are different. We don't just use beef. It's fresh, never frozen. Our burgers are square because we never cut corners. Served hot off the grill with fresh lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and American cheese. We believe in fast food done right. Always serving fresh, never frozen beef. Order a hot, juicy Dave single, double, or triple. Made with fresh, never frozen beef. Now only at Wendy's. Different inside and out.
With over 25 years in business, nothing says commitment to our people, culture, and service like Rev. And this year is no different. We will continue to elevate your home experience for you to create and share memories for years to come, while keeping you connected to the people and things you love most. Our pledge to provide quality service each year remains true. Rev is made for you.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Is your 2023 goal to move into your own home? Well, future homeowner, enjoy another payday. Build or buy a home with financing from CIBC First Caribbean, and you'll receive cash back every month for 1 year. A home is one of your greatest investments, so secure one soon. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/homeowners payday for more info. Offer valid from January 9 through to March 31, 2023. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas, Channel 969, and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. Remember, standard text rate supply on the BTC Powered text line 422-4796. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Stephen Hanna will be joining us. Coming up this morning, we wrap up Health Week. And we're looking at holistic health this morning, what that's all about, and how you can become a holistic health coach. We've got a special event that's going to be taking place, so we'll find out more about that this morning. Later, we start a new monthly series. We're calling it Morning Brand. You get it? Morning Brand. We are talking about your image, your company's image in the public, focusing on your messaging, and looking at some of the questionable choices that some folks make sometimes, and what works and what doesn't work, and what is effective in this day and age. We're going to be exploring that over the next few months. It might keep it going for quite a while, depending on the response. So Morning Brand coming up in Morning Blend Business this morning. But let's begin with what else is in the news. And in the news, Prime Minister says we're doing all that we can as he defends the government's approach to fighting illegal migration. We'll get to that in just a moment. Also, the Prime Minister has ordered an immediate involuntary departure from Haiti of all diplomatic personnel as soon as security conditions permit. We're told in a statement that was released yesterday that it had been voluntary up to this point. But as things become less stable in Haiti, they're asking everybody to get out now. Get out now. This is quite interesting. This is like, do we have to tell folks to get out of Ukraine if they're there? I mean, why? I would have thought, have you been watching the news? Why would it still be in Haiti? Okay. Well, anyway, get out now. That's what he's saying. So this is the story that is head-scratching, though. We're doing all that we can. Our Travis Cartwright Carroll writing about it today, saying, responding to criticism in some quarters that the government is not doing enough to address illegal immigration, Prime Minister Philip Davis yesterday defended his administration's approach, arguing that it is doing everything that it can. This part here, listen to this. Davis said, quote, maybe they can tell us what else we can do. Okay. We know that we are doing all that we can. Last year, we repatriated over 3,500 Haitians back to Haiti. There were over 40 incidents of our defense force sending boats and intercepting vessels and returning them over the last year. For this year, the RBPF has already interdicted many of them and sent them back home. They are going to continue to come as long as the conditions in Haiti persist. We're going to have people trying to get out of Haiti. If you speak to them, most of them are not trying to get to the Bahamas. They're trying to get to the United States of America. Varying conditions get them into our waters, and as they come into our waters because of an international treaty, we're bound to process them and return them as quickly as we can. That's what we've been doing. The Prime Minister's comments come a day after former Immigration Minister Loftus Roker said there's no sense the government is placing strong enough focus on the country's illegal immigration problem. Davis was not asked to respond to Roker's comments specifically, nor did he refer to the former minister. Early in the week, though, the Prime Minister told regional leaders in Argentina that the tragedy unfolding in Haiti poses a substantial threat to the Bahamas and neighboring countries. Okay, so you hear what he's saying. We're doing all that we can. We repatriate them when they come. If they, who the they is, I don't know, can tell us what else to do, maybe they should. That's what he's saying there. Well, I don't know if he's listening, though. People have been saying all manner of things that it doesn't seem that the government is doing. And so they have been saying it. They've been saying it. And just as recent as yesterday, we said there doesn't seem to be a crackdown on the companies that are hiring illegal migrants, undocumented individuals. Where is it? Show me. Where is that happening? We are going after people who, look like they're not from here, and then rounding them up and repatriating them. But they're here working They're here working. So perhaps if you send a stronger message that we're not going to deal with people who are hiring people who shouldn't be working here, then that might do something. Why aren't we seeing that? That's one thing, and many others have many other suggestions. Stephen Hanna is joining us now. Good morning, sir.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah. Let's hear from you all, folks. What do you make of this and these repatriate? That's all we can do. Repatriate, send them back. And that's all we can do until Haiti stabilizes. Is that right? 323-6232.
Where are we repatriating?
325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. What was that you said?
No, I was asking where are we repatriating them to?
What do you mean by that?
I mean, because I heard on a news report that the Haitian... Well, there are no elected Haitian officials anymore, right?
The senators resigned, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, I know this is a legit question, like who are we repatriating them to? That's a legit question.
Who? They going back home. Go.
I mean, drop them off at the dock and like, yeah, walk, you
You
good?
Repatriation center. Welcome back, folks. You think they have that there?
I don't know how it works.
This is your home.
This is a question.
Go to your home. Okay, goodbye.
We're not necessarily dropping them off at it. No.
This is your country. There you go.
Somebody drop you off in Ragged Island. That's not the same thing as dropping you off home.
Oh well. Okay. So
I'm just asking a question.
Yeah, that's the least of our concerns. Now the challenge is, what are we going to do? Is he right? And are they not listening to the people, the they? Let's get the calls in and the text messages. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight. Good morning, Stephen.
Hi.
Good morning.
Okay, what the Prime Minister said of illegal immigrants, he's trying to tell us that as quick as they come here, they send them. We're not performing. These are preferring to those that come on the boat. But what about those who came here and never leave? Because most of them come in by airlines now. Okay, and let me tell you how these
Hello? Are you there? No? Okay. Let's take another call. I don't know what happened. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight. Dwight, for a little while now, I was trying to let you know about this status quo system that we face in the Bahamas. You can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, man. So I'm not really surprised of anything, because we continue to elect administrations what only interested in continuing with the status quo. You heard our Prime Minister, all we could when it pertains to the status quo. Because, see, we're not about changing nothing or making no significant difference. Once we did all we could, status quo, we are good. Yeah. We have as Bahamians, we really stand up and start moving these status quo governments out of power, because these people are not interested. They're not really seriously interested in growing this nation. All they want to do is keep us on a roundabout, going wrong and wrong and wrong and wrong. And
it is so much deeper. I was thinking the same thing this morning. It is across the board in every single thing.
Everything, Dwight.
As I was driving this morning, seeing all these crazy people who were doing madness on the streets, and we talk about this every week, Stephen.
Yeah, but right? You guys have a nice day.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Mentally unwell people?
Bad drivers, and they don't care. Nobody cares. And the issue with road traffic and how things are put out and then withdrawn and no one knows what's going on, the confusion, you finally cleared it up as you're January born, and price hasn't gone up for licensing your vehicle.
It feels like cheaper for me.
But we were all left to wonder, like, we'll find out when we go to register our vehicles. Nobody's saying anything. Nobody is trying to improve anything. It is just talk, status quo. And it's like, wait, are we not trying to ruffle feathers because it's the 50th anniversary, whatever to be, just let them live. And then after July 10th, maybe we'll start to see something, you think? Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Early days, just talking away so long with you and Stephen Dwight.
Morning.
We need the Prime Minister needs to realize we need justice, law and order in this country, the Bahamas. Number one, you talked about tell them what to do. The thing is, if they would stop trying to look for money by giving those people who would come in this country papers to write, came illegal into this country, giving them paper to work without doing the what I would call to check to see how they get here and why they're here and stuff like that. Then we'll have a better situation. You understand me?
Not exactly, but
okay. In other words,
I mean,
they try to make money out of by giving the people that came here illegal permit to work in our country.
I don't know if that's how it works.
Well, anyhow, they're making millions of dollars off it, and it shouldn't be because children comes out of school and cannot get a job. It's not a Bahamians.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Well,
I messaged you yesterday about the idea of Bahamian jobs, and it's like the jobs belong to whoever owned them this, and their concern isn't the nationality of who's doing the job. If your primary concern is about making money and whoever does it the cheapest, then that is going to be your primary motivator. So,
well, no, but he's talking about something different, work permit issue,
right?
But that's a little bit different from. That's a big challenge as well, and that is an immigration issue, yes. But again, it comes back to the businesses, right? And like you said, if that's all you're going to be interested in, you want to hire somebody that you can pay a lot less than other folks.
Right.
But
some people will go out of their way to hire somebody that is not Bahamian because it gives clout. Clout is the short word for it, right? But it gives your business an air of betterness.
What?
I'm talking about on the other side of the scale. So there are people who will pay. They'll pay. They say, "Oh, Stephen."
Well, let's not bring that up in this.
No, we have to because all that is the same thing. Because all it runs down the line. Because here's the thing. You have countries like the Emirates, right?
All right, but that's going to take us in a totally. We don't have the time for all of that.
3 minutes, not even 3 minutes.
That's
half a minute.
Yeah,
30 seconds. Give me 30 seconds. Start the clock. All right. So you have countries like the Emirates where people like the actual persons who are citizens are like 20% of the country, all right? But they hold all of the prestigious jobs and and they own everything, all right? And Bahamians will be like, oh, why we can't be like that? Some Bahamians, all right? However, there's no protection for Bahamians on either end. There's no protection for Bahamians on cheap, underpaid jobs, and there's no protection for Bahamians on overpaid, well-paying jobs. And so what happens is all of us are fighting to be cashiers. There's no protection for Bahamian on either end, and there's nobody going after any of these businesses because some of these businesses will be like, oh, we don't hire illegal immigrants because all our immigrants come from Canada and the UK and Australia, right? And that makes it better because they're not black, right? Essentially. Now, you need to attack both of these because both of these are causing frustration. Because here's the thing. The average Bahamian doesn't want to go and mix cement or be any sort of handyman or anything. I'm saying the average Bahamian. I'm not saying that once again, if you listen to BTVI, that's where the money is. But the average Bahamian doesn't want to do the job anyway. They don't want to work in hot sun, shingle, and roof. But that job isn't available to them. And the other jobs that aren't shingle and roof, the jobs in the building, aren't available to them. So what are they going to do? So, of course, there's frustration, but you only can be frustrated at the people you could see. You can't be frustrated at somebody that you don't even know exists. The end.
Well, if in situations like that, you have to...
No, I'm saying tackle it. I'm saying all of it should be tackled. There should be protect. If
the government's not going to do anything, the people, you have to speak with your wallet, as in, I can't do business with you. And
that's a wormhole. Because you know that certain people, you cannot help but do business with them unless you wish to live. First of all, you'd have to live in a cardboard box because you can't own property, you can't get electricity, you can't do this, you can't do that without supporting some of these people. You wouldn't have entertainment in your house.
Yeah. Well, that is a big issue, especially on the other end that you talked about. But what is happening here, and this, right, we're getting companies that are getting work permits for people who don't have those skills you talked about, the ones that Bahamians apparently don't want to do. And yes, the government's making millions from that.
I agree with you.
But what are we going to do?
I agree with you that what needs to happen is the government needs to crack down on those persons, right? Some of this goes to places like the unemployment department, right? Because they would have a list of people say, oh, this person stopped working, and we could double check with NIB to see when last they made a contribution to see whether or not they're working, even if we're not paying them any money, because that's the next thing. Unemployment office just wants to not have to pay you, right? So if you stop coming to them, they're like, great, he must have found a job. But that's not necessarily the case. I just got tired of standing in line waiting for you. There are persons out there who can do the work. When people come for work permits saying, oh, I'm looking for a talk show host that could wake up and be in place from 7 o'clock to 10 a.m., and they're like, well, we couldn't find nobody because we put an advertisement in the back of a newspaper that comes out once a week, and nobody answered. And now they bring in a foreigner. Like that's a problem. As opposed to them saying, oh, well, Dwight didn't pay his NIB for the past X, Y, so maybe he needs a job.
Yeah. This very stupid text here. Dwight, why is your focus this morning and every other morning the Bahamian and what Bahamians are doing? I haven't heard you chastise Haitians yet. You must have some Haitian horse in the race because you're not balanced on this issue. You're a very stupid person, Texter. There's nothing more I can say. Because if we only focus on the Haitians, we will continue to do this every day. Catch and repatriate. Catch and repatriate. Catch and repatriate. Right? You only focus on the Haitians. That's why you're having the shantytown issue that you're having now. Going after the people who lease the properties or own the properties. Have you heard of that happening? No. So doing what we're doing now is getting us nowhere. So continue to be an idiot. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there? Let's take the other call. Good morning, caller. Are you there?
Please hang up.
Okay. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Chastise the Haitians, Stephen. Let's do that. Okay.
I don't understand.
I don't know. But we will stop coming here. Please stop it. It's wrong.
But my thing is
it's a crisis in their country. You understand what's happening there.
No.
But you shouldn't do this. You can't come here illegally. No, don't do that. But they're working. They come here and they're working.
The problem is, right, exactly. And somebody.
How is that possible?
Someone's hiring them. And you know what, Dwight? I will never forget the fact that it literally, you know how hard it was for me to find a job before I was quote unquote famous?
You famous?
A little bit.
Yeah, okay.
But before people knew my name or who I was or recognized my voice, it was impossible for me to find a job. No one would hire me, Dwight. And I'm not talking about, I want a 6-figure job with a suit on. People wouldn't hire me to.
When did you get famous? When was this?
It would have been late 2010s.
Okay, but weren't you kind of young?
What?
I mean, you just got out of college, right? You were.
I'm sorry, you're missing the point. The point is, no, I got out of college in 2012.
So you weren't out of college.
When I was in college part time with my one class because I had to.
So you were you weren't finished with college. You were a relatively young person, and you were having a hard time finding a job. This is shocking.
Dwight, in 2012, I didn't get a job. When I got a job, Dwight.
The point is,
when did I get a job, Dwight?
Make what you say make sense.
I didn't get a job. I didn't get a real job until 2015.
Okay,
that's 3 years after I left college. So it's not like I wasn't looking for a job.
But you got this. I know the story, and there's some flaws to your story, and you're mixing things up here.
I'm not mixing anything up.
I think you turned down some opportunities. There were people who were offering, but you didn't like what was being offered to you. So say that. You could have had a job. In 2014. You could have had a job, but you didn't like the job that was offered.
In 2014, yes. I didn't like the job in 2014.
In here.
And even then,
and so those things are stepping stones. And that's the problem with Bahamians, right? Because you're looking for something. Yeah, you're looking for something perfect. And we all are like that. We all are like that. You're looking for something because I can't do that job. I'm not going to do it. So you sit down there and play dominoes all day, and years will pass by before that perfect job comes. But some undocumented person will come in here and will take anything.
Well, Dwight, we both know that was not the case.
Okay, well, I don't know that.
No.
But let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Morning, David.
Look how Dwight won chastise me.
Because he's talking foolishness.
Chastised me.
I know his story, and it's not correct.
Hey, guys. Hey.
Let's hear from you.
up?
Let's
Go
hear
ahead.
from you.
Go ahead.
Steve, good morning, Stephen.
Morning.
Listen, Dwight on a good wicket this morning, man, but I want Dwight to calm down, Dwight.
No, I'm very upset now. We're talking about the same thing every day. I cannot. I have problems. Yes, but
You got pressure tablets?
I might soon need to go on them. But we're doing. When you hear someone say maybe they can tell us what else we can do, that means right. That makes you angry because people have been saying these things, and we know you're not doing everything you should be doing.
Well, we know that, Dwight. We know that. You understand? See, what he's doing is he's straddling the fence. He got one side over there. He got to suffice up satisfy, and then he just throw in and he got payments because they know whatever they throw at us, we take it and broke off running with it. He no action, just the words. You understand? But Stephen said something a while ago, what kind of prick my thing. I'm okay if we want to make some money off a lot of the illegals. Let's control it. Let's put controls in place. And if your work permit costs you a certain amount of money or $2,500, whatever, you go to NIB because NIB in trouble now. When they go to NIB, they pay just a little bit more than payment. They pay if I pay $40 as a payment, you pay $45 or $50. You understand?
They do pay more, but
they do.
Yeah, but the problem is because I think you have to pay all at once or something, right?
I don't know. But maybe I saw foreigners, expats, and work permit holders, whoever, they should contribute more towards national insurance because they have all kind of accident and guy go back home and we got to pay them. But on a more positive note, because I don't want like pressure to go up too high this morning, right?
Too late.
I would really like to send a thank you, really heartfelt thank you to Sister Roca at Dialysis. Dwight, you know that's where I'm from. Sister Roca and some of her team members, especially Nurse Maycock, young Nurse Maycock. Oh my goodness, that nurse is a godsend. And then we have Nurse McKinsey, all the way from Exuma. We also have Nurse Richards, all the way from Greencastle, Eleuthera, and Nurse Zornica. There's some of them. I would like to really say a thank you to them for the job that they do with the conditions at BMH, right? Thanks for taking my call.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
When it's not corrected, no. Yeah, it's just 5%.
With contribution?
Yeah. Well, sorry, about 5%. With the ceiling of 740, which is something that I definitely right. The rates of contributions are 3.9% for employee, 5.9% for the employer.
Okay. The other thing that is also upsetting, the Prime Minister has asked the Attorney General to address the Shantytown injunction. Again, our Travis Cartwright Carroll writing about it. Prime Minister Davis said yesterday that he's asked the Attorney General to get clarity and seek a modification from the courts over an injunction that bars the demolition of shantytowns. That injunction was granted in 2018 after some shantytown residents filed a judicial review of the Minutes administration's plan to demolish shantytowns in the Bahamas. Supreme Court Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson has yet to rule on the injunction. The judicial review and the injunction was amended to include all of Abaco and New Providence. Because we've all been asking recently this week, like, what is going on? Why is this taking so long, right? Several new shantytowns have reportedly cropped up on Abaco in recent years. Now, remember what this was, though. It was an injunction on demolishing existing ones, right? And that new ones that didn't fall under this.
Right.
And that if the government had evidence that this was a new shantytown, all they had to do was provide that to the courts, and they were able to do whatever they
Now,
wanted
here's
to
the
do.
question.
That part.
That's the end part.
Yeah.
So now, does it mean that you have to stop them from forming? Or does it mean that anything after a certain date won't be grandfathered in? And falls underneath this.
What? You could easily stop if you're monitoring. What are you doing? What are you building here? Who are you? What is this? Stop it right there. Everybody, yes, but they're not doing that. They're just standing by.
I'm
it
saying,
seems
like that clearly has to be the route that's taken. Where it's like, listen, we have to make sure that no new structures go up.
Sure.
Right.
But if you find a new
we have
structure,
the government.
If you find a new structure and you prove that it was there since the injunction,
I honestly don't
take it to the court
understand.
and demolish, right? Because somehow things can happen without people
Do you
noticing
need to go
around
to the
here.
government? I mean, the court?
That's what the injunction said.
For all?
That's what it said.
Well, what if we don't consider it a shantytown? What if we just consider it what do they call it? A building built without a permit?
That's very different.
How is it different? The shantytown is built with a permit?
Where is it? Is it downtown?
I'm sorry.
Is it downtown? I mean, it depends.
Well,
I mean,
we know that only certain people could have horrible buildings downtown.
You're adding unnecessary complexity to our
No,
discussion today.
there's no complexity there.
But you know exactly what they're talking about.
If in Garden Hills you start randomly putting up a building,
they'll stop you quick.
Right, and so I'm saying this sounds like a monitoring issue where, listen,
hasn't it always been?
And like clearly inspectors just need to be driving around all day. Maybe we need to get them electrical vehicles and they just drive. So they don't waste gas.
Oh.
But they need to drive around in circles every single day, fly drones and say, hey, we noticed that this patch of grass or this patch of bush has gotten smaller in the past week. And it looks like somebody's laying some type of foundation down before it becomes a full structure.
Okay, so this is what the Prime Minister said. Quote, I spoke to the Attorney General and he is now seeking to go back to the court to have a clarification on what the effect of that injunction is and to modify it to ensure that we are able to do what has to be done to effect and stop the growing numbers of shanty towns in this country. This is ridiculous. These people are jokey. They are jokey. If you see someone building something where it shouldn't be, stop them. You think in your country you could, oh boy, there's a court injunction, so I can't really stop you. So what is this? Why are we playing stupid? What is going on here now? This is insanity. And we're not I'm not falling for it. Are you falling for it, folks? Are you falling for this?
So what do you think the actual issue is?
I wish I knew. This doesn't make any bit of sense at all. That injunction was very clear. The people who were sued, you couldn't knock their things down. And it was expanded to include existing for some reason, right? But you have no right to just plop down some cement and blocks in anywhere you want and build a home.
But now you know that for them to get that clarity, they're going to have to go to another court. And that's going to be another 5 years.
See, this is what happens, right? Because so much time has passed. It was very clear to us in 2018 when that came down.
No, I mean,
but
the thing is,
sudden, nobody knows what's going on.
Well, the thing is, you wouldn't be able to let new things happen, all right?
But they've done that. They've allowed many new things.
So now the day is that's the day now we need to clarify. Which pronoun, who is this day that we are referring to?
Okay. Was it you?
What?
Not you, right?
No, I'm saying, but it's a lot of days.
Yeah.
So it's like, because then when did these new structures come up? Did any of them come up this week? Did they come up last week? Did they come up?
Why are you asking this? You know that they're new. Everyone's been saying that. Abaco's been saying that. They've pointed to it. They've shown all of this stuff. Yeah. It's all over the place.
I just want to know when.
Since the injunction.
Yeah, no, but
that's all that matters.
Since Dorian.
Since the injunction. Since the injunction.
I just want to make sure we're screaming at the right day.
Let's take these calls real quickly before we take a break. Good morning, caller, you're on the air.
Morning, Dwight. Morning, Stephen.
Morning.
Let me tell you something. It's a very vexing situation here. And, for people to really believe that a lot of us out here who are watching these moves are really dumb people, they are sadly mistaken. Let me tell you something. A lot of Bahamians out here right now, based upon what we're seeing on this landscape, this injunction is nothing but a slow-down tactic for things to continue as they are. You as a Bahamian, as an organic Bahamian, cannot go and just put a structure on your own property without the necessary permits and the proper authorization from the different agencies to do so. But yet we see that this injunction, which, as you so rightfully said, Dwight, was clearly defined at that particular point where it says that all of the structures that was currently on the ground at that point you could not touch. But there should be no more infrastructures built. So where is the government in terms of pursuing these persons who have put down new structures even after the injunction was already passed? I mean, this is why lawlessness is in this country. And yet, I have yet to hear one name being called of these so-called people who has put down new structures. Secondly, the Prime Minister, according to what was reported, said that he has done everything that, as far as this matter is concerned. I mean, what are these things that he has done? Can he articulate what measures that he has taken, that he has addressed?
Capture and repatriate. Capture and repatriate. That's what they do.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous. There's several groups online that speak specifically to the migration and immigration problem, which the Prime Minister and Keith Bell have been participants in these groups. Yes, the Prime Minister hasn't been saying anything, but Keith Bell has been speaking to the persons in the group, saying what he is trying to do. But we have to understand that Keith Bell cannot do anything unless he is given permission by the cabinet and the Prime Minister. So, we're here pointing fingers at Keith Bell. We have to go back to the source, which is the Prime Minister. What are they really serious about curbing this mess that we have in this country? I'll close on this point. There are many Bahamians right now willing to take up arms to protect this country. And it's hard to say. We don't want to go to that point. But it's hard to say that is where we're at right now, and we have to fix the country. But let's see where it goes from here. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. And even deeper, the other things people have suggested, this one will be a little more challenging, but to address the Constitution and Article 7. We've said that before, that perhaps if you are born here to parents who are here, who are undocumented, you should not be entitled.
Dwight, I want you to know.
You should not be entitled to apply for citizenship at age 18. And I don't know where the Prime Minister is getting his information that most of these folks don't want to come to the Bahamas. Are you sure about that? Did you do a study? You did a survey with everybody, an entry survey? Hey, are you coming to the Bahamas or are you going to the U.S.? Did you ask all of them to fill it out? How do you know this? I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. But anyway, Article 7 needs to be addressed. Article 7 needs to be addressed. If you are here and legally, if your parents were here legally and they have you while they are here, sure, absolutely. But if they're not, you shouldn't be entitled to apply. Many have said that before, and every time you bring that up, people look at you side-eyed, right? Squinty, turn their back on you.
You got it.
Very odd. Very odd. We are running out of time. Let's take a call really quickly. We got to go. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Strachan. How you guys?
Doing well. Good morning.
Morning, Stephen Arnold.
Morning.
Well, Stephen Arnold on the room today, Dwight. I got to agree with him wholeheartedly this morning. Dwight, why the government, anytime it's time to deal with Bahamians, they could find laws and they could do this and do that to beat a Bahamian down, but they can't get these laws together to deal with the illegal immigrants. Why?
Yeah, good questions.
Because they could tell you can't build nothing on your house. They'll come and tell you break that down if you're adding on the house. But these people are putting up full houses, and they can't do nothing with that. Well, they might as well not be the government and let the illegal immigrants be the government, because it looks like they're scared of the illegal immigrants. Anyway,
they do seem to be paralyzed. It's weird. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And we're going to do that one. Yeah, let's do that very quickly. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Ben. How you guys doing this morning?
Doing well. Good morning.
As a Bahamian, this is what I've seen, and this is what I heard about the immigration issues. I heard the Prime Minister get on an Haitian audience and tell them, I is one of y'all is one of us. So far as I'm concerned, you give them people, hey, y'all good, we good, do what y'all need to do. As a Bahamian, I've seen the Bahamas government, we have an injunction against the building of these shanty towns. Still, the government haven't doing anything about those. Even if the government appear to deal the look as if they deal with the Haitian immigration, the Haitian problem, the Bahamian people feel a bit better. But the government doesn't see them. It doesn't look, and it doesn't sound as if they're doing not one single thing about the Haitian problem, and that's what has Bahamian frustrated.
Yeah.
Even if they appear to look or sound like they're doing something.
Well, they are repatriating, and they seem to believe that's something, right? They seem to believe that is something, which is
you can
quite
repatriate every day of the year.
Yeah.
And not just Haitians. We speak about the Haitians because that's the ones who are here in majority. But again, we have an injunction. Why you're not enforcing this injunction? Why you're not going into these shanty towns and demolishing these? Why you're not setting up roadblocks? Why you're not conducting these raids? And that's what BMA people see. It's not seeing. It doesn't seem as if they're doing nothing to curb the problem. And that's what has us frustrated. That's what has me frustrated as a BMN.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't appear that you're doing nothing.
Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. So I want to go back to something the previous caller said. So if they do what I'm saying, is to go to the Bahamian businesses and the owners and crack down on them, will that be seen as, why are you bothering us instead of going after these Haitians? Is that how that's going to be perceived, or is that we're talking about the regular guy? Not the rich business owners. It's fine to bother them, though.
We have a. Well, first of all, they can't go after the rich business.
Why not?
Dwight.
Why not?
Come on now.
Well, then we'll be here. This is where we're at. This is our lot in life. We're stuck.
By all means, I have no problem with them going after rich business owners. You know my position on that. But I'm saying they can't, because every time that the government stands up to a rich business owner, what's the response, Dwight? In any sector of society, we will fire everybody and shut down.
Oh, well.
I'm just saying.
Let that happen. And then maybe more Bahamians will get angry and say, okay, well, then you all were always the problem.
And some of them are so large that the government can't chance it.
So you'd rather shut down the whole thing because you can't hire undocumented people anymore?
Me?
I mean, them.
Me?
So that's what this. If that's what we believe, well, then they need to go. They need to go and shut down this stupid business.
And I've said that for years. But the they changes with every time. The deeper we look at it, the day is going to keep changing. Who's the problem? And so, I mean, I think that honestly, the only thing that one can do is control themselves. All right? If you know that this is something that bothers you, all right, and you see somebody taking advantage, because I know in any way, whether they leasing land to persons who are in need of housing, and that's another reason why the government probably keep letting these things slide, because we have nowhere to house people who are here legally, but they don't have nowhere to live.
But this is a crazy way to do it, though. But I agree with you. That's clearly what's happening.
So housing is a problem, right? So let's deal with that. Oh, we can't deal with that. That's too big. We can't deal with the business owners, because that's too big a problem, right? I'm talking about as individual Bahamians, we have to decide what are we willing to sacrifice for the thing that we want.
Yeah.
Right? So that means that you no longer gonna be buying liquor from a certain company, or you ain't gonna be buying food from a certain company, or you ain't gonna be buying land or even using the premises of certain companies because this is something that you don't believe in, whatever it might be. Right? Then that's what you have to do. But how many of us are willing to sacrifice that, or how much of us want to complain and say, oh, the Chinese only hire Haitians, but you buying liquor and food from them? I'm saying, as an example.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just saying.
Right.
No, but there are people who will complain about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you don't actually change nothing. You don't change your behavior. We also have the sacrifice.
You are complicit in this.
Right. And we can't say, oh, well, then let me see if I could profit from this in some way or shape or form.
Yep. And on that same, as you said before, the ones who are only hiring expats to be in the top positions, you have to think about that with that too. Should you really be supporting them?
Maybe you don't need to use certain places.
Don't go any further.
Why can't I
because you're about to call names. You go.
I can't call names. I have to call all the names because all of them do it.
Just
and
read
they know who they are.
from the yellow pages, eh? All right, we're going to take a break and be back with more. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
But only dark stop, but a judge line H, yeah. Hero voice and pop, yeah. I like beyond, I like this. Take my God for Christmas. She say I romantic. She like taking pictures. She like gallivanting. Then we hit the fish fry. We eat at 100. You should know I'm a Bahamian from the Bahamas. It's the place you vacation.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Time for a quick look at traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. RBC's mortgage specialists can provide helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. In your real-time traffic, as usual, Mile Butler Highway, your hotspot this morning. Heavy traffic from well south of the Fire Trail roundabout up to Tonic Williams Darling Highway roundabout. Glass Road also busy for you from Fire Trail straight up to JFK Drive as well. Seeing some building traffic on the six-legged roundabout on the JFK side, eastbound. And as you head on to New Providence Highway and South New Providence Highway at the six-legged roundabout as well. You'll see that there. Elsewhere, we've got Blue Hill Road looking busy for you from St. Vincent straight up to Independence Drive. Independence Drive, both directions, east and westbound, heavy traffic at this hour. And Prince Charles Drive at the major intersections. Bernard Road near the schools in the area, and Eastern Road from just east of Fox Hill straight up to Johnson Road. And Soldier Road from Prince Charles Robinson straight through to Wolf, Bernard, and Village looking busy for you this morning. Marathon Road as well, northbound. That's what we're looking at so far. That's your first look at traffic. We'll have another one after the 8 o'clock news. Morning Blend Traffic brought to you by RBC, rbc.com/take 60 seconds. Log on to that to connect with an RBC mortgage specialist. And time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by the Chick-Charney Challenge this weekend, Saturday, tomorrow. We've got a cold front that's across the central Bahamas now. That's going to support a fresh breeze across the islands by this evening. For all areas today, variably cloudy and breezy with widely scattered showers, becoming partly cloudy, breezy, and cool with isolated showers tonight. Small craft caution in effect. Look for highs getting up to around 84 Fahrenheit, 29 Celsius, but cooling down significantly tonight, getting down about 64 Fahrenheit, 18 Celsius. In your extended outlook, cooler temperatures, fresh to strong winds, and rough, hazardous seas will prevail across the country this weekend as the cold front meanders across the northwest and central Bahamas through Sunday. So, for tomorrow, Saturday, variably cloudy, cool, and breezy with widely scattered showers along and in the vicinity of the frontal boundary. And then Sunday, variably cloudy, cool, and breezy again with widely scattered showers along and near the frontal boundary that will continue throughout the weekend. That's your morning blend weather check brought to you by Saturday's Chick-Charney Challenge. It's time again to claw through mud, wade through water, climb a rope, and vault the 9-foot wall in the Chick-Charney Challenge Saturday at Clifton Heritage Park. Sign up now, chickcharneychildren.com.
Whether you're looking for your first or new home, or even using your existing home as equity, RBC understands that your journey to home ownership is unique, and your mortgage financing should reflect that. That is why at RBC, we have dedicated mortgage specialists that provide sound advice and helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. Best of all, the RBC mortgage team is mobile, flexible, and will meet you almost anywhere. Visit rbc.com/take 60 seconds to connect with an RBC mortgage specialist.
Good morning, everyone. Hello? Hello? Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Okay, I see we have just about everyone, and of course, Tom drops off, as per usual. Let's just wait a minute here. He always comes right back, and we're almost ready, and... oh, whoever's dog that is, please go on mute. Why won't it let me share my screen? Okay, looks like we're ready to start.
We're like a video conference with no technical issues. CG Atlantic, agents and brokers. Good like that.
Sarah, how are you doing? Okay. Are you sure? I noticed you've been down lately.
Yeah, sometimes I don't know. I can't really put into words how I'm feeling, but I know I don't feel like myself sometimes. There's just so much going on in my life. School, friends, sports. Sometimes I worry about different things and feel stressed.
I'm glad you're talking to me. And it's okay to talk about your feeling. It's normal to feel changes depending upon what's going on around you.
Yeah?
Of course. All of us should be concerned with our mental health and our well-being. Good mental health means that we can cope with our everyday stresses. You can talk to me anytime when you feel like it.
Okay. We should have these check and talks more often and take things from there.
Message is brought to you by PAHO WHO and the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 4224796 on the BTC-powered text line. Standard text rate supply. And now at 8:23, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Here's what's happening. We've got a cold front currently across the central Bahamas, and that's going to support fresh breezes across the islands by this evening. Beachgoers should be alert for rip currents along north and east coast beaches, and mariners should be alert for possible waterspout activity. Small craft operators should not venture far from port due to increasing winds and building seas over the weekend. For all areas today, variably cloudy and breezy with widely scattered showers, becoming partly cloudy, breezy, and cool with isolated showers tonight. Small craft caution in effect. Temperatures getting up to around 84 Fahrenheit, 29 Celsius, but getting down to a cool 64 Fahrenheit, 18 Celsius tonight. In your extended forecast for the weekend, we are looking at cooler temperatures, fresh to strong winds, and rough hazardous seas, as the cold front will meander across the northwest and central Bahamas through Sunday. So, Saturday and Sunday, look for variably cloudy, cool, and breezy conditions with widely scattered showers along and near the frontal boundary. That's your Morning Blend weather check, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Visit firstonlineinsurance.com and select a Bahamas First agent to purchase, pay, or renew your car or home insurance 100% online, or just stop by any Bahamas First agent. Bahamas First, celebrating 40 years as the first Bahamian general insurance company. What's first for you comes first for us. And time for another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. RBC's mortgage specialists can provide helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. In your real-time traffic this morning, Milo Butler Highway still the hotspot this morning. Heavy traffic from well south of Fire Trail Road all the way up to Tonic Williams Darling Highway. That's the northbound lanes. Fire Trail's backed up as well, eastbound to the roundabout. Gladstone Road also looking busy for you this morning from Fire Trail straight up to JFK Drive. And Blue Hill Road also seeing heavy congestion near St. Vincent Road and slow-going traffic as you get closer to Carmichael, and especially as you approach Soldier Road straight up to the roundabout with Independence Drive. Independence Drive backed up both directions, east and westbound this morning. And East Street also seeing some congestion, especially north of Soldier Road on the way to the roundabout with East West Highway. And further north up to Wolf Road. Wolf Road looking busy for you at various spots this morning. Bernard Road as well, near the schools in the area especially, and mainly westbound. Eastern Road from Foxhill to Johnson Road also busy, and Prince Charles Drive, especially near Foxhill Road and on the way to Beatrice Avenue. And as it becomes Robinson Road between Soldier and Old Trail, heavy traffic there. Northbound on Soldier Road, north of Prince Charles, also very heavy traffic there. Those are your hot spots. And that's your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/take 60 seconds to connect with an RBC mortgage specialist.
over there, the love. Yeah, you should know I'm a Bahamian from the Bahamas.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Stephen Hanna. All right, we've got a lot to get through this morning. Coming up in a few minutes, we are wrapping up Health Week with a discussion about holistic health and what it takes to become a holistic health coach. All of that's coming up in just a few minutes. And later in Morning Blend Business, we're kicking off a new monthly series, Morning Brand, looking at companies, the images, of your company out there, your branding, your marketing, the advertising that you do. Will be each month looking at some mistakes that people make and how to be a more effective communicator of what you stand for as a company. So looking forward to that this morning. But we do want to get through what we've been talking about this morning about the illegal immigration issue and what the Prime Minister is saying. And I want to get to the Clint Watson issue as well. Right? So we got a whole lot of text messages that I didn't get through before. Earlier, a caller said that Bahamians are taking up arms and are, I don't know what he's suggesting.
No, he said they're willing to take up arms.
Oh, willing. Oh, okay. Yeah, well.
I mean, that's part of the
same
problem.
People who are shooting people every day? Different people?
No, probably the same people.
You think so? Okay. Anyway, but this text says, Dwight, ignoring the taking up of arms does not mean it is not coming. Sorry it hurt your feelings. Respect. Oh, hurt my feelings. Okay, I'm just very concerned, very worried about that. And because
no, but the issue is when anger is misplaced. Because it's like everybody likes a big explosion. Everybody likes fireworks.
I don't know if everybody does.
Yeah, they do, right? Everybody likes, because they like big, simple things that they can understand. But on the other hand, it's like there are things that you can do right now to improve the state of your life that don't require you to threaten the life of another human being.
Right.
That don't require you to kill somebody or be killed yourself or end up buried underneath the ground.
Because that's the easy way out. That's the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, I guess. Right. Because the thing is, it's easy to scream. It's hard to sit down and have a conversation, listen to the person across from you, and be like, okay, I don't agree with everything you said, but I see the points, and I actually understand where you're coming from. Maybe we can meet in the middle.
Yeah.
But you know what? Everybody loves John Wick.
No.
But I don't want to live in a John Wick world.
Everybody does not.
No, I'm saying, enough people love it that we're now on movie number 4 with no end in sight.
Yeah, because, well, a lot of people love chaos and bloodshed.
Right.
Clearly.
But no, people love drama. But the thing is, there's a million things, right, that we could do. Because these big explosions don't just happen. They're a buildup of stuff.
Yeah.
Right? You could fix things on a smaller level that are eventually going to make the country better.
We talked about all kinds of things that can be done before we get to that point, right? But the Prime Minister talked about they can tell us. Maybe they can tell us what else we can do. Well, they've been telling you, right? And we have not tried those things. We told you a few. We told you at least 3 this morning. And why aren't they going to try to look into those things?
You have to put in a letter.
What? That's the last thing you should do.
Why?
Why should letters, reports, they all go into the shredder. So that's dumb.
Why don't you
I clearly have to tie myself to a tree or chop down a tree and have a press conference and call people in and do a video. That's how you get people to pay attention. But anyway, this person says here, this is a long one. Dwight, notwithstanding the Prime Minister's comments, the government must move in an increased and focused haste to implement any number of strategic measures to ensure our borders are adequately monitored, patrolled, and protected. They must communicate these plans to the Bahamian people so that it is made clear that this crisis is receiving the necessary focus and attention it requires. They must implement a multi-tiered and multi-focused plan inclusive of additional air and sea craft, multi-agency continuous involvement, enhanced collaboration with fishermen and communities along our southern borders, immediately suspending the issuance of new permits and visas to Haitian nationals, prohibit movement of Haitian vessels within our waters, etc., etc. We are at a time where appeasing an international body can potentially lead to a similar deterioration within our own country. This cannot be allowed to happen. Okay. This person says here, I bet you there are over 600,000 people living here in the Bahamas, adding all the Haitians and other people from other countries. My suggestion to the government is to fine $1,000 each illegal immigrant, post their photo in the newspaper so they would be recognized, and put them on a stop list for ever visiting or returning to the Bahamas. That's funny. That's very funny. Okay, I hear you. Haiti has no government. Soon there will be no country to send them to. Gangs have taken over. This one says the PLP is excellent in opposition. They always have all the answers, all the solutions. However, when in government, they cannot. They want the U.S. to tell them what to do. Child, please, Dwight, like Stephen calls you. That's what the text says there. D-A-W-H-I-T-E. Is that how you spell it, Stephen?
I spell it the way it's spelled.
Oh, okay. Tell the Prime Minister to stop the expansion of shanty towns and shut down businesses that hire illegals. The bad drivers are these illegals. Trust me. Oh, you wish. You wish. I'm sure there's some, but they're not all. So, okay, I hear you. Oh, boy. Anyway, this one says here, we need to look at immigration as a whole. Yes, Haitian immigration is huge, but some of these big companies as well are bringing in unnecessary expats. Sometimes the expat has already been engaged and hired, even though you are seeing a wanted ad in the paper. They're just going through the required motions to appease immigration and the Department of Labor. So immigration and the Department of Labor are failing us tremendously. They also aren't enforcing the succession plan to ensure that a Bahamian is trained in order to replace that expat in the future. So Bahamians are essentially being screwed on low-skilled jobs that are qualified for and high-level skilled jobs. Okay.
So, do I remember when it's like off air? It's like the problem is people love a Satan.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's clearly part of the problem. Because like this person, that 2 texts back when the person's like the bad drivers are all illegal immigrants. Really?
That's crazy.
I could promise you that is not the truth. That's not what's happening. But it's so wonderful to put a face on everything that we hate and be like, yeah, if we could just fix that. Yeah. If we didn't have any of those, our life would be better. Your life would still be garbage because that is not the problem. The problem is
we must have a lot of illegals working at these ministries around here. God.
So you're joking, right? But you're forgetting that COI has said multiple times that they accuse everybody who doesn't agree with them of being a Haitian.
Oh, okay.
And so you can't even joke about that no more because the whole point is people love Satan more than they love God. These people want to have an evil enemy lurking in the darkness, causing their life hell. The truth of the matter is more than half of our problems are coming from Bahamians. I would dare say 80% of our problems are coming from Bahamians.
Nice.
Direct. It might be 100%.
Yeah.
The illegal immigrants might be coming here to say, please, we want to help stop the problems that you guys have. That's how bad it is. It is Bahamians who are taking advantage of you. It is Bahamians who won't sell a piece of property to you for a fair price, but then let persons bill on it illegally so that they can screw those people over, and then they hire those people to do jobs at a horribly low rate that those people can't live on it, and you can't live on it, and nobody can live on it because they are horrible people.
Yeah.
They are Bahamians who hate you, but you are like, no, it's the monster in the dark that's trying to get me. The Haitians are doing everything. It is not the Haitians. The Haitians are not your problem. Your problem are Bahamians. Are Bahamians. They are your problem.
Wow. This person says here, Dwight, you've been on the radio talking about the Shantytown court ruling, but I am done and ready for an uncensored version or podcast of the serious Bahamians to just go off and tell these politicians how we really feel. I mean, you could do it now, but just don't use expletives, right? Can you do it without?
No way to get arrested.
Right. I mean, so, if you go off. Yeah. All right. There's a lot of these. I won't be able to get to all of them. I'm sorry, but I want you to hear.
Is it the podcast? Is it the podcast?
No, I don't know what you're saying. We want to get to the Clint Watson thing really quickly. Really quickly. Take a listen to this report. We talked about it. There was that. It was unconfirmed, but now we know that it's true. The Office of the Prime Minister Press Secretary is also a consultant for ZNS News. Take a listen to this report from our Jared Higgs.
Press Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, Clint Watson, revealed that he is working with ZNS as it goes through an improvement and upgrade in its news department. Watson also confirmed that he would be staying on as OPM press secretary, prompting concerns that the two roles amount to a conflict of interests.
I am the press secretary of the office of the Prime Minister. That has not changed. That is what I do. ZNS is going through an improvement and upgrade in their news department. They're pulling on expertise from myself, having been able to have done successful turn with Eyewitness News. I'm assisting them and helping them to be able to do that. As press secretary, BIS and ZNS are part of our portfolio. They come under the office of the Prime Minister. So I'm doing what I do every day, trying to fulfill my job description.
Watson said he won't be reimbursed for the role. Before taking up the role of press secretary, Watson worked as a reporter and then an editor at the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, also known as ZNS, before serving as news director at Eyewitness News. He assumed the role of OPM press secretary shortly after the PLP was elected to government in September 2021. Watson's new role as consultant at ZNS has been criticized as amounting to a conflict of interests, but Watson insisted that the government isn't interfering at ZNS.
ZNS would probably think that you get more favoritism than they do with stories and so forth. No, there is no interference. We're not interfering on that level. We're trying to help them with the upgrade and restructure. We play by the same rules. As you can imagine, how people feel when they think I came from Eyewitness News and Eyewitness just get all the scoops. No, we play. That's not our mandate, not our focus. We're just trying to help.
Back in 2017, former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis promised to transform ZNS from a state propaganda machine to a properly functioning public broadcasting corporation. However, no significant changes were made at the state broadcaster. It's unclear how Watson would separate his mandate as OPM press secretary from the journalistic mandates of a news organization. Watson was eventually pressed on the matter by another reporter.
Whenever you call me for a story or information, I assist you. I don't give anybody preferential treatment. The press office is here to assist all of you. Had there been concerns before, people would have mentioned them before. I have assisted other organizations and I have assisted before, and there's never been a concern or an issue. We try to operate with integrity. We will continue to serve you here at the press office, and that doesn't come with favoritism or anything of the sort. We continue to try and do our best to serve the media, to make sure that we have, under this administration, been able to better your conditions, better your opportunities for interviews, and we will continue to do just that.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Jared Haig.
Okay, folks. Let me calm myself down before I say what I really want to say. This is not acceptable. This is not acceptable. You cannot be the press secretary for the Prime Minister, for the office of the Prime Minister,
Right.
and be a consultant for the news department at the state broadcaster, unless we are going to admit that we are North Korea, right, or even Russia, right?
It's propaganda.
Obviously, that's what it is. So, are you just saying?
Sorry,
No,
PR.
you got it right. You got it right. Propaganda, right? This is a Nazi 1930s Germany type move. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Please. And don't let it just be the media, the other people in the media speaking about this. Bahamian people, please wake up. What is going on here? This doesn't make any sense at all. This is not necessary. Unless we just say, unless ZNS just comes out and say, well, we are Bahamas Information Services. That's what we do. We put out government information. And don't expect anything else from us but that. Unless that is what ZNS is going to say that they are, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, because it's going to be very difficult to hold those two things apart, I guess. But,
But it can't just be us saying this. And everybody's sitting, that's Clint Watson. No. Do you not see what's going on here? And I don't understand what's going on within the administration. So there are no sane, calm heads there at all. Nobody with reason who can say this is a bad look. This is a bad look. There's no reason for that person to be the consultant there. What? Speak out on this. This is a problem. This is how it begins. Let's hear you on this really quickly. We don't have much time. We got to go on. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, Dwight.
Hi.
The main reason why he got that job at FedNS is that in order for he to be on the payroll when the PLP is not in power.
I don't think so. I mean, it's a consultant. It's not that, right?
So it's too early to be calling elections.
It's a consultant. No, not necessarily.
It is.
Okay. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796. I've never heard anything so crazy. Can you imagine? Where would they do this? How you think they could, in any true democracy, do something like that? You think you'd see the press secretary in the United States be a consultant at I don't know, PBS? Could you even dream of such a thing? You think that would happen in the UK? You think that could happen with BBC? Could that happen?
Preventing that.
Why don't we have that?
No, Dwight.
What's that all about? Why would you even think this makes sense? I mean, I appreciate you saying, because we know how normally around here it would work. Like, you wouldn't say it, and you'd be pulling the strings. So you get a little point for that. But this is really, really ridiculous. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight, again.
Hi.
This is beyond words. Seriously, and this is where the opposition, if we have one...
Yeah, why aren't they saying anything?
I don't know. It seems like the public is running the position the opposition supposed to be having. This is where they come in, because that's a huge conflict of interest. And this is as low as we could get as a people. That should never be. And they need to speak out on that, the opposition.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But the public as well. Everybody needs to say something. Come on. Let's hear what you have to say. Quickly, caller. Good morning. You're on the air. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Stephen.
Really quickly.
Quickly, Dwight. Dwight, if Anthony Ferguson was to assign you now to do something in another one of his departments, would you be donating time, or would you still be getting paid?
I don't understand what you're asking.
No, I'm saying is that if you work for the Guardian, right, and he says to you, I want you now to go sell insurance, to consult with insurance people, and then you say, I'm not getting paid. Aren't you still getting paid by the other job? Because there's only still a certain amount of hours in a day that you can actually
the money, I get what you're saying. Right. The money is not the issue. The fact that he's doing
but it's a major conflict of interest.
It's a major conflict of interest.
Right, because what happens is if they don't see it as a conflict, it tells you how much further they have downgraded into this concept of bringing people on. And just anything that's right. And the Prime Minister said he have tried everything about immigration. I tell you one thing he hasn't tried yet. Resignation. Thank you.
Well. Okay. This person's asking if this matter should be reported to IRCA. I mean,
you could try.
I don't know what the point would be. They don't get involved in personnel issues. But this is an ethical issue, a moral issue. This is ridiculous and dangerous. And if you don't, see, Alan's right. If they don't see what's wrong with it, then we all need to be very concerned. Very concerned. A final call on this? Yeah? We're going to do that? Okay. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. How you doing, sir?
Doing well. Really quickly for us.
I heard a caller just now allude to, where's the opposition? I think too many times we in our country deflect and put the responsibility someplace else. And I heard you this morning saying that we need to wake up, and that's true.
Yeah.
It will take more than the opposition in our country under any sitting government to move the needle. And so we need to wake up, Dwight. We need to wake up. The opposition been having press conference after press conference, statement after statement. Historically in the Bahamas, we don't ask for the opposition.
You are very right. Yes. It'll be good to hear from them, though. But you're right. This needs to come from the public. The public needs to speak out. We have to show that we are not prepared to take this.
I agree with that caller. I think the Prime Minister said that he has tried or done everything, but the one thing he hasn't done yet, like that caller said, is resignation.
My goodness. Yeah. All right, we're going to have to leave that there. Thank you so much. I see your messages coming, and we got a lot going on today on the show. We're going to take a break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio. Stay with us.
I don't go in water, I just go to about five.
Florida Auto Parts can deliver all the auto parts your car will ever need, direct from the USA and from around the world. Florida Auto Parts provides fast delivery on auto parts, and we ship throughout the Bahamas, genuine or aftermarket, new or used, and all for the best price. Call Florida Auto Parts Trusted Parts Rep on WhatsApp at 1-786-772-8777 to save on your next auto parts purchase. Florida Auto Parts, the right parts at the right price.
With so much going on in the world today, only accepting cash at your business can be risky. Let Fidelity offer you and your customers safety, convenience, and the flexibility of a fixed or mobile terminal. Take it with you, on the move and on the go, because business should never stop. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit us at any of our branches.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL. Growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Is your 2023 goal to move into your own home? Well, future homeowner, enjoy another payday. Build or buy a home with financing from CIBC First Caribbean, and you'll receive cash back every month for 1 year. A home is one of your greatest investments, so secure one soon. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/homeowners payday for more info. Offer valid from January 9 through to March 31, 2023. Terms and conditions apply.
Legacy College Readiness and Tours. Already get the first set of knowledge. Now it's time to prepare you for college. You're thinking so much you gotta do. Legacy will handle that for you.
Looking for a college connection that's thorough, supportive, and proactive? Get on board with Legacy College Readiness and Tours today. My name is Whitley Cargill. I am a student who benefited from Legacy College Readiness and Tours. Erica Morris, the president of Legacy College Readiness and Tours, ensures that you have a great ride through a program. You will receive unprecedented access to college information, college campuses, and college advisement based on where you want to go and what you're looking for. Expand your knowledge and your experience. It's tailored to you. Look forward to Legacy College Readiness and Tours. Get on board today. Contact us at 242-809-5278 or email us at legacycollegetours@gmail.com today.
Whether you're looking for your first or new home or even using your existing home as equity, RBC understands that your journey to home ownership is unique and your mortgage financing should reflect that. That is why at RBC we have dedicated mortgage specialists that provide sound advice and helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. Best of all, the RBC mortgage team is mobile, flexible, and will meet you almost anywhere. Visit rbc.com/take 60 seconds to connect with an RBC mortgage specialist.
Florida Auto Parts can deliver all the auto parts your car will ever need, direct from the USA and from around the world. Florida Auto Parts provides fast delivery on auto parts, and we ship throughout the Bahamas, genuine or aftermarket, new or used, and all for the best price. Call Florida Auto Parts Trusted Parts Rep on WhatsApp at 1-786-772-8777 to save on your next auto parts purchase. Florida Auto Parts, the right parts at the right price.
Fidelity, we're good for you. Whether your business is in-store, on the go, or both, let Fidelity work with you to maximize your customers' payment options with a fixed or mobile terminal so that you never miss a sale. It's safer than cash and more convenient so that you can take your business anywhere. For details, contact a business development officer today at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport, or visit our website at fidelitygroup.com.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Hey, Bill. Glad to see you back in the office.
Who?
Bill.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think you're mistaking me for someone else.
Tom.
Nope.
Jack.
No. No. Alex. Want me to just tell you?
Nope, I got this, George.
No, you don't. Still not me.
Adam.
Not even close, man.
We're like a coworker that didn't forget your name. CG Atlantic Agents and Brokers. Good like that.
Okay, good to see you, Mark Mike John Sean.
It's Mordecai.
With so much going on in the world today, only accepting cash at your business can be risky. Let Fidelity offer you and your customers safety, convenience, and the flexibility of a fixed or mobile terminal. Take it with you, on the move and on the go, because business should never stop. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit us at any of our branches.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Welcome back to Morning Glen here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan and Stephen Hanna. That was Stephen set us off on a usual path. during the break. But hey, it is Health Week on the show, and we wrap up this morning by talking about holistic health and also becoming a holistic health coach. So that's going to be interesting. We've got with us from the Institute of Holistic Health, we've got Paul Croteau.
Yes.
Yep. And Cheryl Morley.
Hello.
Good morning. Great to have you with us. Let's get your mics up there. Good morning to both of you. Welcome.
Good morning.
All right. So let's talk about it. Holistic health. What is that specifically? What do we mean when we say that?
Well, a lot of people, they think of health and healthcare. They think of doctors and, I'm going to go to the hospital or go see my doctor and I got a problem. But really what we stand for is finding out the root cause of all these health problems going on these days. And there's more health problems now than ever before.
Yeah.
So we just have a real passion about finding the root cause of it, what's actually causing this, fixing that. And not only do we fix the problem, but we prevent future problems from happening.
Mm-hmm. All right. So how do you go about doing that? What is done? And does this mean that you don't see a doctor? Do you
Also, what does holistic mean?
Right. Let's talk about all of that.
Thank you. Yeah. So the Institute of Holistic Health, and we spell holistic with a W. And the reason why is because we believe in the whole body. So it's not just physical. Physical is super important, as we all know. We just came out of 2 years of, hell, right? Can I say that?
Do well.
Sorry. Okay. So anyway, but we want to also think about mental, emotional, financial health. Your financial health is also very
Relationships,
important.
Relationships. Everything into consideration.
Yeah, all of those things. And I think it's so important not to just look at one part of your body. So when we say the holistic Institute of Holistic Health, we're talking about the whole body.
Whole person, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And financial will affect your physical, so.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
exactly right.
Oh, yeah.
And relationships as well.
That's right.
As we just discussed on off.
Certainly. All right. So how do you go about doing this? How can you do this on your own?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Cheryl and I have been health coaches. We worked with a couple doctors for years and years, the past 30 years. And it was actually before the pandemic started. We knew that we needed to expand this, and there's such a demand for us because we really believe that the future of healthcare is health coaches. And instead of going to see your doctor for this or that, you go see a health coach, and they'll actually, work with you, find out what's going on. If you could change anything about your health, what would you change? So that's the main question we ask our clients. And then we do discovery, find out about them and what's going on, and then ask them a whole lot of questions. We have a whole thing we've developed online called the Health Evaluation System, where it goes through and you answer a bunch of questions, and it actually gives you something called a health score. So we, for instance, with our weight loss clients, it's super easy to see if they're being successful or not because they get on the scale. If the scale goes down, we know that it's working. But with health, we never know. It's hard to quantify it. Like, how are you getting healthier? Are you getting sicker? What's going on? So this system that we've come up with, and as far as I know, it's the only one in the world that actually was able to give you a score, so you can feel like, okay, my beginning score, and we were blown away by how low scores are right now.
You were, I wasn't.
Yeah. So we
How
people
low they were?
Yeah.
Oh, they're low.
So 100's perfect. But I mean, we're getting 27s, 10s, I'm like, how are they even getting out of bed in the morning? I mean, it's crazy low. And all the problems they list on this. And so from that baseline score, we come up with a protocol for them, a health plan. And then we meet with them, in the beginning a lot, every week or so. And then once a month, we kind of break it out. But we make sure that the score is always going up and that we're always making progress towards improving their health.
All right, so you're not talking about eliminating doctors, though. Is this before you get to the doctor, or before you have to see a doctor?
No, so if I fall off a ladder, if I get shot, get hit by a bus, I'm going straight to the hospital, seeing a doctor. But for all the other problems that you have, like depression, or like we talk about cancer and heart disease and arthritis. We'll go through all these weight loss. I mean, honestly, so my father-in-law was a doctor, and he, only saw things through the doctor's eyes. Like, I'm going to come in, I'm going to write a script for them and fix this problem.
Well, and it doesn't fix the problem, right? We know drugs don't fix problems. So what drugs do is just mask whatever problem you have. And so what we're all about is actually finding the root cause and fixing the actual problem. And doctors don't. My best friend's a doctor, and we talk about this all the time. And she's like, well, no, we just prescribe drugs, and every drug has a side effect. We know that. And
Or
a lot
two?
of times, or 3. And a lot of times people aren't aware of what the side effects are. And they're like, well, and so we'll say, well, do you have high blood pressure? Well, no. Oh, well, wonderful. Well, yeah, no, I'm on my high blood pressure medication. And that's why I don't have high blood pressure. Well, that's not fixing the problem. It's simply lowering your blood pressure with a drug that's going to, cause other problems.
And what's really scary is that people aren't just taking one drug.
No.
They're taking 2, 3, 4 drugs. And there's been no research ever done on if you take this, and this together. I mean, it's
What
Russian
happens?
roulette. I mean, you have no idea what's going to happen. And from all the research out there, actually, the American Doctors Association came right out and said that 493 people die every single day from taking a prescription drug. Not because they took like too much of it, or they took exactly what the doctor told them to take.
Interactions.
But just from the reaction from
A
it.
day. 493 people a day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So let's talk about getting to the root. And you talk about the test that you do, but let's talk more about that and what happens once you get to the root and the course to get back on track.
Also, how much of this is like mental? How much of this is like physical? What exactly is it? Because it sounds like somewhere between a therapist and a life coach.
Yep. So when we find out the health score, we know that the core of our health is our digestive system. So we focus heavily on getting the digestive. You hear gut health all the time now. The microbiome inside your body, the flora. So people are eating all these bad foods, which is, we're one of the things we have is a good food, bad food list, a list of foods that we found that have caused havoc in the human body.
Like ultra processed, or you mean like?
The number one thing is gluten.
Okay.
We really promote gluten-free because we found that gluten, the first couple letters of gluten is glue. And that's what it does to your digestive tract.
Even if you don't have an allergy?
Correct.
Oh, that's the thing.
Doesn't matter.
So
doesn't matter.
You might not have celiac disease, but
Right.
But technically
It's still
speaking,
causing you to not be able to absorb nutrients like you should.
And a lot of times I think people say, well, I don't know if I have an issue with my gut. Well, does your stomach hurt? Do you? And a lot of times, oh yeah, my stomach hurts all the time. Every time I eat, my stomach, I don't feel that well. I don't have any energy. Whatever. That's a gut issue.
Yeah, but a lot of people, they don't have stomach pain, but they got these other symptoms that they don't realize.
Skin problems.
Skin problems
Skin
are caused.
problems.
So every single skin problem is caused from a digestive problem.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let's just jump right into depression. So there's a lot of studies that just came out recently. First of all, depression is at an all-time high level.
Right.
Antidepressants are the most prescribed drug in the United States. So we have to ask ourselves, well, why is this? And get into the root cause of it. And these antidepressant drugs, they try to raise your serotonin levels in your brain. Well, the truth is that 80% of the serotonin produced in your body is made in the gut.
Yeah.
So it's more about gut health to feel good. And there's so much research out there now about mind-body connection.
What would improve that? What are some foods that you can eat to improve your mood?
I think it's not just what you would eat; it'd also be what you don't eat.
It's what you don't eat that really starts it. Yeah.
And really, the doctor that we work with says it's not what you eat; it's what you can absorb. Right. So we talk about like the great things that you can eat that'll make you feel better, but we also talk about how you need minerals. That's the number one thing. I'm just jumping right into this. So minerals, but the problem is the minerals aren't in our food anymore. It's not in the soil. If it's not in the soil, it's not in our food.
And the government's actually released studies on the soil in different countries on the quality of it. And it just, before, 100 years ago, they were putting more minerals back in the soil, these farmers. But now you just, we take one thing, like broccoli. You think I'm eating broccoli, I'm getting super healthy. Well, there's 85% less nutrition in broccoli today than there was 100 years ago.
So you've got to actually supplement with, a mineral product.
Yeah. Wow. So other types of foods that people should avoid and should eat. What do you say?
Well, you have to avoid, I like to say, what I tell my people is avoid everything that's white, right? So white bread, rice, all of those things, because it has gluten in it. Rice doesn't, but that's carbs. So
it's another topic for because another
weight loss,
another epidemic out there.
Yes, diabetes.
And people don't understand that it's I think the average person consumes 56 pounds of sugar a year.
Yes.
I mean that's going to cause havoc in the human body.
That's because it's hidden in everything. So
Yes.
it's
Oh, yeah.
But so I mean, like there are probably persons listening who are saying, "Listen, I understand that gluten is an inflammatory.
Yep.
I understand that what is it? All the oils from soybean to canola oil are inflammatory.
Yep.
However, and I know that there's sugar in ketchup, but I'm not going to give up chicken and fries.
Sure.
Right.
That has all of those things in it because it tastes good, and I value the taste over the little bit of inflammation that I might feel. So what do you say to those persons in terms of, I guess, balance?
Yeah. Well, so 80. So I have a master's degree in nutrition, and I said if I was ever going to go back to college and get my PhD, it would be in psychology, because it's a mindset. You know, what you mentioned there is a connection that you have between a certain food. So what we do is identity transformation with people. So, like, for instance, I'm the type of person that exercises every single day. It's just who I am. So I've identified myself as someone who gets up and exercises every day. And you take on a certain identity. You know, I'm the type of person, for instance, I always use this example that people say, oh, yeah, I need more self-discipline to not eat the French fries, or self-discipline or willpower to do this. And I don't really believe in self-discipline or willpower. I believe that, because, for instance, I don't take, just for the record, on national radio here, I don't take any illegal drugs, but don't give me an award because I got some kind of massive self-discipline that I don't take, illegal drugs. It's just not who I am. I would never take an illegal drug. So it's nothing to do with my just self-discipline or willpower. It's just I'm the type of person that just doesn't want those bad foods. We have a great saying that nothing tastes as good as being fit feels. And it does. When you eat good and you don't eat that junk and stuff, you feel better.
Yeah.
I mean, we can all agree on that.
Yeah, but it tastes so good.
Well, what about moderation? If you do it once in a while,
Yeah, no, it's
birthdays,
zig and
kind of-
zag. You do this thing. It was not good. It was on the bad side, but you did this over here to all about balancing. Right now, everyone's just going a lot of bad.
Yeah.
But what
Not enough good.
I think though that once people, start supplementing, they really take control of their own life and their own health, which is what we always say. Design your life. If you don't design your life, then you will live your life by default, and we definitely don't need that. So as they design their life and they start feeling healthy and taking the nutrition, they feel so good that and then they're like, oh well, I'm going to go try this or I'm going to try that because it tastes so good. But then they figure out they feel so bad doing it that it's so much easier for them not to do it.
Well, I hear you guys saying a lot about it being a mindset. So how much of being a holistic coach is, I'm going to say, therapy? Because even when you talk about illegal drugs, because you said prescription drugs for depression is the number one
prescribed drug.
Yeah, but I mean, I would argue that's everywhere in the world because people aren't drinking alcohol just because.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, depression.
No, and people aren't smoking weed just because.
Yeah.
People aren't hitting coke just because.
Every once in a while.
No, but I'm saying even for the majority of it, people do it because they want to feel better.
Sure.
Right.
And
They wanna escape.
they abuse it because they want to feel better. So how much of the holistic lifestyle is going, being a holistic coach is going to be therapy and sitting with a person saying, okay, I don't think necessarily, we there's some stuff with your gut that needs to handle, but the reason that you insist on eating, chicken and fries, I'll just use chicken and fries as you're ready, right?
Yeah.
In the middle of the night is because of this other issue that you're not
Well, that's why
addressing.
Paul said he would go back and study psychology, for PhD, right?
So
It is related.
we in the beginning we thought we just got to come up with the how do I get in shape? How do I get healthier? And we had the how down, but that was only it turns out that that's only 20% of the equation. The 80% is the mindset. And so it doesn't matter what diet you follow. Then there's hundreds of different diets out there to lose weight. 99% of people who try to lose weight on any diet out there have a 99% failure rate. So it's not, is the plan good? Like I got to count my calories or count this or what ratio should I do between carbs, proteins, and fats? And they ask all these questions. The truth of it is of course that matters, but what really matters is the mindset behind the whole thing and the mindset you're going to take onto that. And you just, a lot of people have taken on an identity of, I'm big boned, or those people can lose weight, but I can't lose weight. I'm not that type of person. So I always ask them, well, when did you decide that? You know, it's really a decision that we're making every moment of our lives, and you can change that decision in 1 second.
Well, and I think with coaches, I think the importance of becoming a coach or being a coach is that people need to be held accountable. That's what I found. They need help. You know, let's chat about that. What's happening? What's going on with you? Right? And so they want to be held accountable. Not only that, but we've really created a fantastic community where we do trainings. We all get together. We support each other. We're all on this journey together. We all have a huge mission to help people get healthy. And I think the knowledge isn't out there. People don't know. They just think, oh, I need to go to the doctor. Right? And the doctor is not necessarily trained in getting to the root cause of the situation. They're just like, okay, well, we'll give you a drug for that. That's what we've always done. That's what we learned, you know, in 16 years of college. And so that's what we will do. Yeah. And so I think being able, I mean, I feel like I'm so blessed to be able to have this knowledge and to get this knowledge out. And that's really what I think the Institute of Holistic Health is about, is getting the knowledge out so that people can make a decision based on, you know, what they know now, instead of, gosh, all I know about is the doctor.
Yeah, and so many people have now really embraced the concept of having a coach because they see like every single singer out there, actor, professional athlete, I mean, they all got one coach or multiple coaches. You know, so if you want, and, you know, so Cheryl plays tennis all the time. She got a coach to a new level. Yeah. I play golf. I have my coach with me all the time, you know, to make sure, am I swinging right? Am I doing this right? So you got to have, if you're going to be successful in anything in life, you got to find a coach. I don't care what it is you're doing.
All right, so tell us a little more about the Institute for Holistic Health and what you're going to be doing while you're here in the Bahamas. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so we're super excited to be here in the Bahamas. It's first of all, it's 50 degrees warmer here than New York that I came from. So I'm really excited to be here. But I love the people here. We come here all the time, and
that's what I like.
The people are just the best here. Yeah. And we also see that, you know, there's a lot of suffering going on, though, here in the Bahamas, especially health-wise. You know, so we have a real passion to come in and educate people. And if we can just make a 1% improvement, you know, we're not looking to change the world in one day. Just have that attitude. We have a podcast ourselves called Elevate. So we're talking about how to elevate your life, how to just take that 1% jump every day and make small changes. Like even, you know, going from eating the whole thing of fries to half is progress.
Impossible. Now you're just wasting.
Let's start talking reality here. We're looking at, you know, educate people, so we're doing this event on Saturday, and we're super excited just to come in and again, we're here to help solve problems. So if you have any type of health problem that is bothering you, or someone in your family, or something you're worried about. I mean, obviously, heart disease is the number one killer in the world, so that's a big topic. Cancer is huge, diabetes, arthritis, and weight loss. If that's something you want to do, we're experts in that. Any kind of skin problem, Alzheimer's is a real big problem out there. We mentioned digestion, energy. So the number one complaint in doctor's offices is actually, I feel tired. You know, energy, and that really stems from poor sleep. We see an epidemic level of people having tough time sleeping. So
and stress, I think, is going to be number one too, right? And I loved what you said earlier about that. Your financial wellness is going to have a lot to do with stress too. So that's something else that we'll be talking about too.
And then the main one is immune system. I mean, we just got through a pandemic, and COVID. Who knows if COVID 20 or 21's coming? You know what's coming next. You know, we have to expect it. You know, and you can't rely on a piece of cloth from every disease out there, wearing a mask on your face, or any of these drugs that they have out there. So it's about making your own immune system. I mean, God built our bodies to be able to overcome these kind of things. And your body is extremely smart. So our saying is, if you give your body what it needs, it can do amazing things. It can fix anything. And so we want to prepare people, you do this, you got 50% less chance. You got to do this. And if you look at all the deaths from COVID, 96% of the deaths from COVID, those people actually had 2 to 3 other health problems with that. It wasn't, that was maybe the straw that broke the camel's back, but there was already had diabetes. They already were overweight. They already had, heart disease, whatever they had. Yeah. And so the problems were already there. This just pushed them over. And so we want to fix those problems so that...
And we'll be at the National Training Agency on Gladstone Road tomorrow at 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
Yep, 10 a.m. at the National Training Agency, which I'm excited about that. That's going to be... I think it's going to be fun. And like we said, just if you have a question, no pressure, just come out. We'll answer your question. chat with you and see if there's
We charge $10 per person. We cut the price down.
Okay. Yeah.
And we just want to really help meet new people here in the Bahamas. And if you have any kind of health questions or concerns, like this is just a different way of looking at things. And we invite you to come and make up your own mind. Like if you got to hear both sides. People think doctors are gods. And that my doctor said this. So I just want you to hear the other side. At the end of the day, you're going to make the decision. We just ask you to have an open mind and look at both sides of the equation.
Yeah. How long are you going to be there?
From it's 10? Like 4 hours.
Yeah.
10 to 2, I think.
Yeah.
So the format is what? You're going to presentations or people just coming in and...
We're going to do a presentation, a full presentation but we're also going to take all questions, on different health topics. We didn't cover anything on our presentation. We're going to be there, absolutely answering questions.
Yeah. And if one is interested in becoming a health coach, holistic health coach, what do you recommend? What should they do?
Yeah, well, we have a website called iwhcoach.com. So it's iwhcoach.com. And when they go there, there's a little 2-minute video. You play that, kind of like, if you're going to go tonight, you want to go see the trailer. So it's a little 2-minute trailer. If that's something that catches your eye and you're interested, we have Cheryl, just fill out the form there, and there's like a 15-minute video that Cheryl and I kind of go over exactly what this is about. And then we have people available to answer any of your questions to get in. But again, we have thousands and thousands of people signing up for this, and it's become huge. I mean,
and we'll talk about it a little bit tomorrow too. Yeah. We'll go into it a little bit and just get people familiar with it, and they can make their decision there too.
Excellent. Again, tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Yep. At the National Training Agency on Gladstone Road.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little ways down from Fusion.
Yeah. And so it's going to be great. And good to have you all here and good to clear this up. A lot of people need to be hearing the things that you're talking about, and hopefully they will turn out tomorrow.
So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That was fun.
Thank you very much, Paul Croto and Cheryl Morley. And we've wrapped up Health Week, folks. Thank you so much. I hope you got some good information from the series. And we're going to take a break and be back with Morning Blend Business in just a bit. Stay with us.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Morning Blend Business on this Friday, January 27th, 2023. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Stephen Hanna. And this morning we're kicking off an exciting new series, monthly series here on the show. We're calling it Morning Brand. And we're going to be talking about perfecting or coming up with a better solution to the image and the messaging your company puts out there in the public. To better explain what we hope to accomplish here, we are very pleased to welcome back to the show a former co-host of Morning Blend, but she's doing big things. We've got Royanne Dean. She's Communications Design and Digital Solutions Advisor with Onward. Royanne, great to have you with us. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
All right, so Morning Brand, it's going to be exciting here, and we're going to start off today by talking about authenticity in your messaging, and let's get into what you're hoping to get this morning, Royanne.
Sure. So overall, I have an echo. Do we have an echo on your side?
No, it's okay on our side, but it'll hopefully dissipate in a bit.
Okay, so essentially with Morning Brand, the aim is to take stories that are business stories locally, internationally, and let's see how we can see them through a marketing and branding lens. And today, we wanted to talk about brand authenticity and communication and core values. And that is what we think will be one of the trends this year for organizations and their brand. So in our recent monthly newsletter at Onward, we talked about what we think will be the top 5 trends for 2023. We believe that one of those trends will be diversity, equity, and inclusion. Another is going to be building employee brands, and that means making sure that the brand that you put forward to the public is the same as the one that is espoused inside the organization. The third is keeping the communication human, which is what we're going to dive a little bit deeper into today. The fourth trend that we think will have a really strong foothold in our market is making your communication mobile friendly. So for organizations that do have a website, congratulations on that. That's the first step. But how does your website look on a phone or on a tablet, which is where most people read their information? And the fourth is that we think there'll be a comeback for QR codes. So stay tuned for that one. But
did they go away?
Right,
did the QR codes go away?
They're making a resurgence because a few years ago they were supposed to be like the be all end all to marketing, and then it didn't really have the impact that everybody thought it was going to have. We're all, not just in the Bahamas, but now I think there will be a resurgence. Just you're seeing it more and more internationally, and I think that we're going to see more and more of it happening here when companies do their marketing.
Okay.
So let's get into the topic for today.
Right.
So I want to start off with defining what a brand is. People think that it is the logo, and that is true. That's a very important element of the brand. But a brand essentially is an intangible. It is a promise of what type of experience a customer will have with your organization. And a brand has core values. So essentially that is what the brand believes in. What does the brand stand for? All of those things, because that ties into how people or consumers or customers see themselves and your brand, and basically why should they engage with you? Why should they spend money with you? And why should they believe what you say? Your core values play a big role in that. So I want to delve into a story that was in the papers actually last week. Before I get into that, I want to also say that the brand core values are very important. And this has been a trend over the last 10 years or more with millennials and Gen Zs. I'll claim that. We believe that brands should be, keep it real, talk to us like humans. If you say that you believe in being a good corporate citizen, be a good corporate citizen, walk the talk. If you say that you believe in certain core values, like diversity, show us that.
Okay, so let's pause right there. Let's pause. Let's pause. Let's pause right there. So what does it mean to be a good corporate citizen? What does that really mean?
Well, and that is up to that organization to define that, right?
Oh, yeah.
The engagement. It is.
So
if you believe in community engagement, then that means, what does that mean for your brand, right? What are the pillars in which you're engaging the community on? But this is where having a good strategy, a good branding strategy, a good communication strategy comes into play.
Ryan. So I hear what you're saying, right?
Yes.
And a lot of this feels like this is when you get the brand guidelines, the little PDF that people pay $50,000 for a company in New York to make for them. When you get that, it says, when you get that and it says, okay, our brand stands for this and that or whatever, but then the actual on the ground interaction that people have with the company, right, does not match that. Is it enough for the executives at the top to feel like, oh, I want my company to mean this, to mean quality, to mean assurance, to mean whatever it is, right? But then when on the day-to-day, when people go in, then you sell drinks, the ground sticky, all this stuff. Like, how do people see that as the brand, or am I going to be like, they have a nice logo? Like, what is...
Well, so firstly, if a company spends money on getting those brand guidelines, that is an indication that they intend to adhere to them, right? And that is why it's so important to think of the brand as more than just the logo. It does include those values. It does include what that experience is. But that's how people become loyal to brands. If you follow through on what that promise is, and that promise is all encompassed in your brand. That's why it's a very expansive topic. And there has to be a holistic approach to that. Because if you are saying that you're high end, everything's shiny and perfect, and then you go into a brick and mortar and it is, it's not living up to what's promised, or you go to the website and the website is not great. The experience on the website is not great. People are not going to believe you as a brand, right? And that ties into the value of the brand, how much time people are going to spend with you and how much money they want to spend with you. So there's a business component to all of these things. So if there is an organization that does have the wherewithal to get the branding guidelines, then hopefully they will follow that because they made an investment in that.
Well, no, this brings up another issue. I mean, that locally happens where, because the Bahamas is structured the way it is, there are really only like a handful of big fish, right? And so there are persons out there who, whether or not they have brand guidelines, they're not really concerned because they're like, well, it's either us or it's either a duopoly or a monopoly for all intent and purposes, right? Like, you either come to us or you don't have this item, or you come to us or you go to our competitor and they also have horrible business practices. To what extent is that affecting even our expectations from these companies, as well as could we really expect them to be motivated to change if they feel like that business?
Well, I think there's two ways to look at that. The first is that you have different kinds of consumers now. Because if you see what's happening just on Facebook or any sort of digital space, if somebody has a bad experience someplace, they won't hesitate to complain about it. And if there is an option with whatever that service or that product is, they will tell people to go someplace else. The nature of consumers is changing, right? It's easier for information to be shared about a good experience or a bad experience. And so essentially that company, you're right, in some cases there was only one place to go.
Right.
And if it's only that one place, that's one place. I mean, you can't really do anything about that unless there is a broadening of the industry. But in other situations, like for examples where you may have several service providers, like restaurants, don't go to that restaurant. You see, so it's not quite as black and white as that. Ideally, if there is an organization, no matter how large or small that company is, or that organization is not just limited to a commercial enterprise, if you want to be perceived in a certain way, if you want your customer or your consumer to be loyal to you, to come back to spend money with you, everything that you do is a part of that brand. That is it. Every touch point that consumer has with any point in your organization, that's the website. If you have a brick and mortar location, what do the premises look like? How does it feel inside the brick and mortar location? All of that is a part of the brand. So, you have to think through as a consumer, what is the thing that's going to make you go back, and what is the thing that will make you not go back and actually share information about telling other people not to go back. But there are certain things that brands have. We should think about brands as people, right? If you like somebody, you're going to spend more time with them. And if you like somebody and you hang out with them, it's because there's something that you see that you have in common with them. So I want to take that to the business perspective based on an article that was in the papers last week, which really stood out to me. And that was an article with a headline, excuse me, that the church marital rape. If you've been keeping up with this whole, this is a social issue, it's a societal issue. But one of the vocal opponents to the act has been Bishop Walter Hanschel of Great Commission Ministries. So that Great Commission Ministry is, just for a good overview, is a community organization that feeds people and I think clothes, but they do a lot of community work. And in a Rotary Club that I was in, we have done work there, so I'm familiar with it from that end. I've gone there and actually like physically worked to make that a better environment for the people that they do help. However, Bishop Hanschel has mentioned several times over the years, since this has been kind of in the public discourse, that he doesn't believe in marital rape, and he has a certain stance on it that becomes part of the Great Commission Ministries brand, making a statement about it from his personal perspective because of his role in that organization. That feeds into the perception of that brand. So they do their community work, but when you think about it as an organization, it is his statements that come to mind, and it's Googleable, right? So the idea behind your brand having core values is also comes through in association. So aside from what the organization says and does publicly or internally and externally, association with other organizations also helps to inform how people perceive the core values of your brand. So I am saying that as a business component and mentioning the fact that in particular millennials and Gen Z consumers tend to be more sensitive to these types of things. So that means that if your organization associates with another brand for sponsorship purposes, for community engagement purposes, for joint initiatives, it is that brand with which your organization is associating is one that you feel publicly espouses, or hopefully internally believes in as well, but publicly espouses the values that your organization says that it.
That's pretty interesting what you're saying. Now, I know that definitely in other markets, they're very vocal. Folks are very vocal about that kind of stuff, and will pull their advertising, will speak out against it. But do we have evidence that is indeed happening here? Because
there's nowhere to pull out to. You could only pull out from restaurants, like because you could have a person say something crazy and wild, but if the person is BPL, let's say BPL, right? We don't need to imagine them doing something crazy that would offend people. But you can't pull out from BPL, right? If you say...
But again, it goes back to the fact that you only have one energy provider.
Right.
Right?
But even if you take a gas station,
but in situations where you have more than one provider of a particular service or a product, right? This is where you can make a decision. You can make a decision as a consumer, or as in the case that I'm mentioning in particular, as the head of an organization or the head of marketing of an organization that is looking for entities to work with or to collaborate with on community engagement or on projects. Be mindful of the other organization and what their core values is, because by being publicly connected to that organization,
yeah, well,
or anyone who's looking at it will assume that you share those values.
Right. Does it depend on
if you believe in those things? And that's one thing, but just
does it depend
about that from a business perspective?
Because I can think of so many. There are a few of our colleagues out there, talk show hosts, who have said more outrageous things, but they still have the advertising support of many big corporate sponsors in the country. It's like that doesn't make a difference to them. What do we take away from that?
I think what we could do as consumers is be more mindful of that, right? Because if you have, it's like this. Personally, if I know that an organization does community work or cares about the environment, that makes me see them in a different way. And if I have a choice between doing something or purchasing something from them or another organization, I will choose them. But the mind of the consumers, it is evolving, it's changing, and how people see brands and see organizations, that will change. Now, it may be that, and I mentioned this as a particular example that stuck out to me, but if your organization says that it believes in, equality in society, consider the organizations that you are working with and that you're seen with in public. This is the main point of this, because it does tie into where your brand value is and what your consumers will think about your organization and your brand.
Yeah, I don't think any of these companies believe in equality. At least I've never heard any of them say that's their brand guideline, and there's a good reason for that, because it's not true.
So this is the thing, right? This is the thing. The fact that you said that means that there should be more insight into that. So if they do, they should say that, right?
Yeah. Well, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so my thing is like a lot of companies say a lot of things about love and Bahamas and all this different stuff, right? And they talk about being good corporate citizens. I know a lot of companies, when they say they give $100,000 to a company to an organization, what they mean is half of that is in kind, and now we're gonna give you free internet. So the problem with that is, right, that these people are being disingenuous from the. This also presents why Bahamians are so fair weather and fickle, because I don't believe in you as a company. I go to you because you are available and you are the best option right now. As soon as something new comes along, you're going to fade away and I'm going to go try the new thing, right? And I think that's what affects these brands. Sorry, go ahead.
But see, but so this is the thing, right? This is the power of branding, right? And I'm not saying this because it's something I heard. Like I actually have been working in marketing, branding, communication in that space for 20 years, and I've done a master's thesis on this. So I can tell you that stronger brands have higher customer lifetime values. They have more loyal customers. So it also depends, the nuance to that, it depends on what the product or the service is. If you have a commodity product or service, if you're selling peanuts on the side of the road, one peanut is the same as the other peanut, right?
Right.
That's one thing. But if you're selling a product or a service that is really tying into your brand, for example, I'm team Apple all the way. It doesn't make Samsung phone for half off. I'm still going to get the iPhone.
Yeah, that's because Apple is a cult.
Because I believe in this brand.
No, it's a cult.
But it's
He says there are cults, but don't listen to him. That's fine.
That's what it is.
But go on.
But the point is that if your brand is strong enough, and this is why it's important to those trends that I mentioned earlier, they're important to really think about, because at the end of the day, no company really knows where the competitor is going to come from. Mm-hmm. And Stephen, you mentioned earlier, if you have an industry where there may be only one or two competitors, that may last for a certain time. Some industries have a higher barrier to entry than others. Right. However, we are in a digital age, right? The barriers to entry for some industries has been lowered. The cost to entry for those industries have been lowered. In some cases, you have protectionary measures in place, which keep those barriers high, but that's not going to last forever. Which means that if you are aware that there's going to be a newer entrant that is probably a digital native, has lower costs, and is more agile, what are you loyalty in your brand? People that are loyal to brands also are less price sensitive. So if you have an incremental increase, they may be less willing to jump ship if, according to your promise that you're making with your brand, you're providing excellent service. Every touch point that they have with your brand is amazing. You know, if they're on the website, it's easy to navigate. The information is there. It's clear. It feels good. It looks good. If they're in your brick and mortar, that is living up to the promise of your brand. And it's well designed. It feels good when people are in there. They want to spend time in there. All of those things make a difference on how consumers engage with you and how much time they spend and how much money they spend.
Yeah.
In your opinion, as a marketing person, all right, do you think that the problem with the breakdown with brands and brand perception, is it coming from your end in the PR department, or is it coming from the front-facing persons not being trained or compensated or whatever it is will take them to representing the brand, or even the communication between what is on that PDF and what is expected of the person at the front?
Right. So firstly, a small correction. The PR is a subset sort of what I do. So we're really focused more on the strategy side. But I say that to say that from a strategic perspective, the companies that really value that branding component of marketing, those are the companies that see it from a more holistic way. And those are the companies that just over time, any research demonstrates this, have a higher, if you have shares, you just have a higher value of the company. But in order for companies to really implement a holistic brand initiatives, it needs to come from the top. Now, in most cases, or in larger organizations, that initiative will be championed by the CMO or the Chief Marketing Officer or whomever is most senior person for marketing. That person has a larger function in organizations than in the past. In the past, it may have been really driven by communications and branding, but these days it's also a business growth function because marketing and branding really tie into driving growth, especially in a digital space. So it is very important to have the senior leadership team buy into the importance of marketing and branding, especially when everything is Googleable. The first point of contact for people is typically the website, because if there's something that they want to know, they will more than likely go online and look for information that they can easily access. Which means that you have to have that information available to them. But then following through on that promise means that your frontline staff should be trained in accordance with how they should treat people. So customer service is also a part of the brand. Any touch point, people, locations, service, that's all a part of your brand.
All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we have a whole lot more questions and not much time, but we're going to get through it. We're talking with Royanne Dean. It's our new morning brand series every month on the show. Stay tuned. We're going to talk more on this conversation when we get back.
I've got a song. I've got a song. Like the whirlpool and the babies cry. I've got a song. I've got a song. And I carry it with me now.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Legacy College Readiness and Tours. Already get the first set of knowledge. Now it's time to prepare you for college. You're thinking so much you gotta do. Legacy will handle that for you.
Hi, my name is Erica Morris, the president of Legacy College Readiness and Tours, a comprehensive college readiness firm. I'm reminded of my senior year in high school, the trepidation and insecurity I felt the closer my school years were coming to an end. I was afraid and unsure of what steps to take next. I needed a me, someone knowledgeable about the college and career selection process. And I know finding the best college fit can be. So I'm here to eliminate that stress by providing a guided tour into you choosing the right college for you. For more information on how Legacy College Readiness and Tours can assist you, contact us at 242-809-5278 or email us at legacycollegetours@gmail.com.
Whether your business is in-store, on the go, or both, let Fidelity work with you to maximize your customers' payment options with a fixed or mobile terminal so that you never miss a sale. It's safer than cash and more convenient so that you can take your business anywhere. For details, contact a business development officer today at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport, or visit our website at fidelitygroup.com.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
It is time for your Morning Blend Business Report, brought to you by CFAL. Attorney General Ryan Pinder appealing directly to the head of the Financial Action Task Force to end the unfair practice of blacklisting developing countries while larger European nations are not for the same deficiencies. Addressing the first day of the deliberations at the 4th AML Anti-Money Laundering Research Conference being held at Margaritaville, where FATF President T. Raja Kumar and Vice President Alyssa de Anda Madrazo were present, Pinder called for a research study of what he called arbitrary actions versus the cost or benefit to enforcing them. You can read more on his stories in this story in today's Guardian business section. A new survey of the top chief executive officers throughout the Caribbean found that 1/3 of them don't think their organizations will be economically viable in 10 years, with daunting looming global recession, inflation, and climate threats on the horizon. The findings were revealed in the PricewaterhouseCoopers 26th Annual Global CEO Survey, which explores the views of 4,410 CEOs around the world. The developers of the $800 million Kokona project in South Apico have partnered with Satai, the brand, to build a boutique hotel on land owned by the Harrell Family Trust. Advisor to the trust, Thomas Boynton, revealing this during a town meeting on Apico. Boynton says the developers did not want to bring just any hotel brand to the South Apico development. He explained that the Satai brand will bring to the project will be akin to the Amarina development built by the Satai owners in the Turks and Caicos Islands. And the hiring call for IHOP Bahamas, leading more than 900 people to register with the Department of Labor to be interviewed for the various positions at the restaurant, with only about 600 people actually showing up on interview day last Saturday. That's according to IHOP's operations manager. He told Guardian Business that IHOP would like to find why 300 people did not show up. However, he explained that out of the pool of the people who did attend, IHOP was able to find suitable candidates for most of the positions. For the first restaurant, they hope to find about 200 people, and they're hoping to hire up to 600 Bahamians as more stores are opened. In your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX. From Thursday, your market movers Consolidated Water closing at $2.88 unchanged, and Emera Incorporated $9.93 unchanged. The BISX All-Share Index closing at 2,652.66 unchanged. That's your Market Watch, and that is your Morning Business Report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Like the pine trees lining the winding road, I've got a name, I've got a name. Like the singing bird and the croaking toad, I've got a name.
We are back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong along with Stephen Hanna. It's our Morning Brand series. Each month we're going to be talking about these issues, the image, the reputation, the what you put out there.
You know what we should
business.
do? We should ask Ryan to do an audit of Morning Blend. To be like, okay. what is the brand?
We're running out of time, Blend? Stephen.
Don't try to talk over that's your brand.
Royanne Dean is with us. All right, so I got to ask you this.
I think that's an internal morning.
Thank you, Royanne. No, thank you very much. I don't know why he's always trying to cause trouble.
The people want to know what it is.
But you know what I do want to point out though. I know we talked a lot about organizations in terms of the branding, but I also want to emphasize that branding is not just a private sector, right? Or a civic sector. All the business stories that you mentioned are part of what is the brand of the Bahamas. Mm-hmm. The business section that you mentioned in terms of the FATF blacklisting, if we think about the Bahamas as a brand, our destination brand is built on tourism and financial services, right? How do all of those things affect how people around the world see the Bahamas? Yes. Because that impacts a willingness to visit. And again, it's engagement and spending money. Basically, this is what branding does, and that's why it's a very important part of thinking through a business strategy. It's not just, okay, let me just make this logo and make this look pretty. It really is a holistic approach to creating value, not just for a business, but also for a country.
And I think that's the one that we should be talking about, Stephen, an audit of the Bahamas' brand. We must do a show on that, Royanne, at some point. I want to ask you about corporate being a good corporate citizen. Some companies do it. They put out there, they let you know what they have done. Is that a good idea? Because some people say, "Oh, why did you have to get a photo for this? Is this a photo op? Why is this in the paper? Shouldn't you keep this stuff quiet?" What do you say on that? People need to know what you're doing, right?
People do need to know what you're doing because when we started, I did mention that that's important for people to know. Companies should, or any organization that does something for the greater good, if that is a part of the values that you espouse or that your brand espouses, demonstrate that you're giving back to the community. But to really show it, you have to put that out there. If nobody knows what you're doing, and that may be the route that you want to take, but from my perspective, in terms of creating value for your brand, that is something that people want to see. It's more than just the product that you're selling. It's more than just the service that you're providing. It is also the intangibles. Do you give back to the community? You take in money from the community. Of course. Do you give back? Mm-hmm. So when there is an ask for something, when you have a promotion, it's just, are you only competing on price? Brands are more than just the product and service. Anybody can compete on the product and service, but the level of your investment in the brand, letting people know what your values are, letting people know what you care about is what will help people to see themselves in your brand. And again, I can't say it enough. Spend time with you, spend money with you, and be loyal.
Mm-hmm. Is there a way to do it that will be subtle but still get the message across?
Showing a picture of you hugging orphans, or every time that you feed a homeless person, you have to have a 40-page spread on your website?
So here's the thing. If this is something that is really a part of your brand and you're walking the talk, that's something that will be consistent. The thing is, if you only see it once a year, right? If you only see it that one time and it's not something that's happening consistently, then that's what makes you suspicious, right? Or sus, as the young people say. But the idea is the consistency in the communication, the consistency in showing what your core values are. That consistency is what drives trust. So that, let's say something happens and you need to communicate some bad news, people need to trust that you're being real with them, that you're being authentic, that you're understanding that consumer as a human. You're not trying to hide anything, and you're respecting your consumers. So all of those touch points, as I mentioned, that consistency is what will help people to believe in your brand.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've got one question here, or comment, really. Did I lose it? What did I do with it? Good gosh. Okay, here we go. The Bahamas is full of exclusive dealer rights. Unless we get rid of exclusive dealer rights, you cannot duck these companies. NASA operates fully in economic cartels. Well, I understand Royanne's fight, but it is extremely difficult. The only sector that this can work with is when dealing with small businesses, like the mom and pop shops. Do you think that's really the case? I'm not really
clear on what the question is. However, if you have an industry where there are a lot of multinational organizations, believe me, those companies care about their brand. That is why they take great pains to have the same logo, that everything is consistent. And if they espouse a message in one location in terms of what their core values are and what they believe in, they want to see that done around the world and wherever they are. So I'm not clear. I'm not 100% clear on what.
No, I think that's a good thing you're saying there. So the distributor, let's say, if the distributor here is saying something that goes against the core values of the brand that they're distributing, and that you've got some power there.
Yes, you do. Yeah. You have, as a matter of fact, you have more power because that distributor answers to a vendor, and that vendor wants to ensure that their brand is maintained wherever they are. There is a lot of energy and effort put into maintaining the brand perception, because that in turn goes into the value. So if it's a higher priced item or service, the brand plays a part in that. People don't spend hundreds of dollars for a Prada t-shirt because it's just a black t-shirt.
All right, we're running out of time. Royanne, really quickly, you do it, I'll do it too. Some of the things we hope to talk about in this series each month going forward. What are some of the other issues we can expect going forward from you?
So what to expect going forward is just a really interesting look at business stories happening locally around the world. You know, you just spoke about two just now. There's always financial services stories. FTX story is a huge story, but how do those play in from a marketing and a branding perspective? Because it is important for businesses to know that creates value. So looking at that through a lens so that we can understand it more. And for those of us that have our companies, we understand how to integrate more of a branding approach to when we're providing services, when we are providing any type of touch point for the consumer. What does our website look like?
Yeah.
So it's just looking at business stories and from a marketing and a branding perspective.
And speaking of marketing and advertising, Steve and I talk about this all the time. The companies being authentic, they're encouraging us to buy local, but they aren't quite doing the same in their marketing. They outsource it to any and everybody but Bahamians. So those are some of the things we'll be talking about and a whole lot more.
Sure. We'll be all business stories that we think are interesting, local and international, and even, to do with tourism and financial services, all tying into branding.
Wonderful stuff.
We'll be talking about all that.
And it's going to be every final Friday. Did we say final or fourth? Every fourth Friday. Each
Morning
month
Brand,
here.
every fourth Friday.
Morning Brand right here on Morning Blend Business. And Royanne, thank you so much. Royanne of Communications, Design, and Digital Solutions Agency, Onward Advisors. We appreciate it. Looking forward to talking with you again in a few weeks.
Thank you. Looking forward to it.
All right. Stephen Hanna, thank you very much.
All right.
Have a great weekend, everybody. I'm going to see you all back here on Monday for more Morning Blend Business, right after Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, have a great one, everybody. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.
I've got a name. I've got a name. Like a singing bird and the croaking toad. I've got a name. And I carry it with me like my daddy did. I'm living the dream that he kept here. Moving me down the highway, moving down the highway, moving ahead so life won't pass me by.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.